One little bad game. Everybody on the bench players shot terrible. Luka shot terrible. He literally broke his streak, the longest streak he had of made threes. He literally broke it last night of not making 1 3 last night. So it was just a bad night, and we still almost pulled it out. And then when you let
Hold on, Cam. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us in another episode. Shit. Let's run that back. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us in another episode of GT Radio Go Talk Podcast. To our top left, we have Dr. Matty Ice. To the right of him on you guys' screen, we have the Cam Johnson. Big CJ in the chat.
Jones.
My fault. Matthew Johnson, Cam Jones. It's a lot going on the screen. The one and only Big Cam Jones. And beneath Matthew, you have Mr. DERRICK, Derek, in the chat. We'll see if we can get him a little bit of a conversation today. Should be an interesting episode. Unfortunately, the guest that we had lined up for today had to bail. We're going to line that up for another time, probably. But we should have another guest dropping in about maybe 45 minutes or so, maybe 30, 45 minutes or so. And should be a fun one. Today we got a couple of topics. Let's see what we got. We're going to talk about the Colorado Pro Day. Travis Hunter did a couple routes, and Shedeur threw a couple balls. We're going to talk about Damian Lillard returning to the Bucks. Some NBA seeding. The Dakota Prescott and Joe Milton. We're going to talk about Mr. Ja Wick. Ja Morant for some, Ja Wick for others. The Kellen Moore question with the Saints, how they're going to run their offense. We're going to try to sneak a little bit of March Madness, Final Four. Currently, there's the South Carolina Gamecocks playing against Texas Longhorns women's game. Got a couple men's games tomorrow. UConn and UCLA play later tonight, I think. And then we're going to start it off today with the Lakers-Warriors game for last night. Ooh la la, what a game. That was a very fun, very riveting, definitely playoff atmosphere game. I'm going to read off just the top board stats, and then I'll leave it to you guys to digress from there with that information. So we had Steph Curry with 37 last night. That's great. Pods had 8 threes, 28 points. Not bad. Jonathan Kuminga, 18 points, 9 rebounds. Rui Hachimura dropped 24, 9 for 15. The LeBron James dropped a 33 bag with 5 3-pointers. AR-15 had 9 3-pointers and 31 points. And unfortunately, number 77 for the purple and gold was 6 for 17 with 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 0 for 6 from 3, and finished with 19 points. He did have a block, though. If you watch the game, I'd prefer you have the longer duration of commentary. But what do y'all think about that Lakers-Warriors last night?
I think it was a great game for the Warriors last night. Definitely was a playoff atmosphere type game, which it needs to be and has to be at this point where how close the West seeding is. Last night you had some guys who stepped up more than they usually do. You got Jack Harlow for the Warriors hitting what you said 8 threes last night. and Brandon.
8 for 10.
That's yeah, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Guys like that on that type of on that Warriors roster, they have to have games like that for the Warriors to be successful. And last night they stepped up. And unfortunately, the supposed to be number one guy for the Lakers did not. And that's all right. Curry, amazing game. He's starting to heat up like we knew he would around this time. And like I say, hey, great game. If they would have played a series, of course, I'm still taking the Lakers, but I would never predict a sweep or anything. That's going to 6 or 7 off rip. Maybe 5 if Lakers just go crazy, like it's just a looping heat or something like that. But that's a 6 or 7 game series if that matchup is to happen first round.
Matt?
So I didn't see the full game last night just for the fact I had to get up early for work. But what I was able to rewind and watch throughout the day is just the Warriors are getting that belief in themselves. For a while, it was always like, man, we're missing something. Uh, People are just like kind of looking. Curry can't do everything. Then Jimmy Butler comes in. No, he's not putting the stats where it's like, oh my gosh, superstar, superstar. But you can tell the culture there has changed. There is a definite culture change there where I believe I saw that since the Jimmy Butler trade that they're 19-2. It's either 18-2 or 19-2.
When they're 19-2 when Jimmy Butler and Steph both play.
Yes, thank you. But so there's obvious, even it's just a mindset thing that having Jimmy and Steph on the court, playing for the Warriors that night is just they felt like they could beat anybody. So it causes some players like you saw Pojeski step up and everything. Hill is going to get his buckets. Kaminga is going to be an athlete. I think we're seeing a pretty scary team arriving right before the playoffs, and this is the best time for them to do it, especially since they're taking them out of play-in contention. And right now, they're going to be a scary matchup for anybody to go against.
Yes, I'll have to agree with that. I think Matt, you were actually the one. If you remember, who gave a prediction about episode 1, 2, or 3. I know one of those first episodes saying that the Warriors would be scary if they remain healthy. And your take is correct. It should, right before our eyes, it's taking place. Like I said, Lakers, I feel like they'd be okay. But this was more so a game for the Warriors where I'm like, impressed. And I believe everybody else is impressed, and everybody else the last couple of weeks since the Jimmy Butler trade has looked at the Warriors as a real threat. So, great game last night. Like I say, if that's the first round matchup, I still got Lakers in 5 or 6, but that can easily be a 6 to 7 game series just because it's Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler, and it's crunch time.
Yeah.
Especially,
Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
I was gonna add one more thing, like just especially going into the playoffs. Yeah, Steph Curry throughout his whole playoff career, I wouldn't say he's been good, just a consistent good. Because he has times where it's like, man, this is not the MVP stuff. There's also times where he does go crazy. So I'm not going to say he's just bad in the playoffs, but
Yes.
but he's not like he doesn't raise his level of play compared to some other superstars. But Jimmy Butler is someone who's known for raising their level of play in the playoffs. And regular season, he'll do enough to be an all star, but when playoffs start, it's like the second coming of Michael Jordan sometimes, where how he was able to carry some of those Heat teams. And it's just that's going to be a very interesting duo. I don't know if it's going to be as effective as Prime Steph, Prime Clay, because that's just a duo I don't know if we'll ever see again in our lifetime to be just that dominant. But just, I think they're in a very good spot, especially Draymond playing some of his best basketball over his past recent years.
Okay, hold on.
Facts.
Whoa. Hold on. Okay. want to correct something. First of all, Steph and Clay were never a duo. The only duo they had was shooting duo. They were Splash Brothers. It was a trio. It was always a trio. It was always Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Okay, and if you
Yeah.
look at how they've drafted pretty much their roster and connected their roster, they have Jimmy Butler to replace Klay Thompson's defense and Pods to replace Klay Thompson's offense. Between Pods and Buddy Hield. So I mean, yeah, granted, you can't get the same production out of one person like they had, but I mean, it's definitely there for sure.
For sure. And I'm glad y'all touched on the Draymond thing because I was definitely going to say something about that. Draymond got on one of the ESPN shows not too long ago, and people kind of said he would cry. He was crying basically about his Defensive Player of the Year award this year and his resume for that this year after Wemby went down. But since then, you can't say he's been crying because he's been playing amazing defense. Last night was just amazing defense. Yeah, he didn't have 5 blocks and 5 steals, but if you watch the game and just see the switches that Draymond makes, the shot affection that Draymond makes, it's amazing still right now, and it's outside a little bit outside of his prime. So yeah, and you're right. They always been a trio, not a duo. A 1-2 punch offense with a bang on defense. You can't ignore defense to win championships. And all of their teams that they won with have been top ranked defensive teams, even though they didn't have size. And he's been the anchor of that. So yeah.
I just want to give a quick update because we got the Final Four going on for women's college basketball. Texas just finished the first quarter against South Carolina, leading 19-18.
Well, South Carolina gonna win that game by 10. Okay.
Who's the leading scorers right now?
I'm going back and forth. I haven't just kept up like stat lines and everything. I'm just like glancing up every once in a while just to see what's going on, then focusing back on y'all.
So we have Madison Booker has 6, 3 for 3. Texas is shooting 7 for 14 from the field, not bad. They have 2 3-point attempts, and both of them are for the bench players. South Carolina is 6 for 13, being led by, of course, Phil Wiley, off the bench, and they only have 1 3-point attempt by Phil Wiley, and they are 1 for 1 as a team. They are shooting 6 for 13. Yeah.
Not bad. Can I ask you something, or ask y'all guys something about women's basketball?
Go for it.
So about the college thing. So since Juju has went down, the viewership has also skyrocketed down. What we kind of seen in the last 2 to 3 years from women's basketball is more so when certain players or 2 to 3 players are playing, the numbers are up, and when those 3 players are out, the numbers are down. What is something, a way that the women's basketball committee could do to keep the viewership hooked, the viewers hooked? There's a lot of great talents.
Well, look, that's gonna change. That's gonna change drastically because of the NIL deals. Look, a rookie woman's WNBA player has a locked salary, a locked base salary, and they won't move. We talked about this a couple episodes ago that we just posted on the on our Instagram and TikTok. But listen, they're getting way more money in college than they would in the pros for the first at least 4 years of their career. So a lot of these players like Felicia, a lot of these players like Juju, the several talents won't rush themselves to go to the WNBA because they're making way more money than they ever would staying in college. As they stay in college, what happens to the story? It gets bigger, it gets brighter, right? Someone like Paige, her story was supposed to be the second coming of Brianna Stewart through UConn, and she got injured. And in the midst of her getting injured, Cece showed up and showed out. And it was like Juju's here, and then it was like everybody kind of forgot about Paige until she came back, right? And now Paige is here, but it's not that she has this same, because you remember UConn and Gino, it's the same, like, the bad guys. No, Paige is cool. She's chilling with the homies. She's X, Y, and Z. but that doesn't sell tickets, right? So just because Paige is
Right.
cool, she hoops, it don't sell tickets. The only thing that they can do is really leave it how they're leaving it right now, and let the NILs take over.
Facts, and I think that was a great logic. I definitely could see what you're saying. I definitely see that taking place. Even if they have to take that little extra fifth year of eligibility, I can see them doing it just because the story getting built. I mean, the story builds up, and also you're making more money while getting a degree and less pressure than being on a WNBA contract. So makes sense.
Yeah, right now, and I've said this before. I think in like just a group setting, but I think it's my first time saying it on the podcast. But I personally think that women's college basketball is currently where men's basketball was in the '80s, like the '70s, '80s, where we're getting that like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson came in, basketball became very popular again. Well, I think we're getting there. We had greats, but now we're getting to the point where like, okay, now it's getting more mainstream. Because especially when you look at the history when Larry Bird and Magic Johnson got into the NBA, how everyone wanted to watch the Lakers and Celtics. Like basketball was pretty popular and everything. It had its good views, but it started going on a more, I don't want to say global because Michael Jordan really set it to the global level. But at the same time, they brought it to a more national level where we got more publicity. And I think we're starting to see that revolution with the WNBA with more actual superstars instead of just the talents. Now, one thing I will have to fix is hopefully this coming season or at least in the next few years is the like giving appreciation to some of the greats and everything. Like you heard about the Caitlin Clark, um, just people saying she's not doing enough, or comments from legends, or even Angel Reese talking about how she's not making the WNBA grade. It's been great, and just overall, hopefully with new superstars coming in, it becomes a more team approach in the aspect of getting into the viewerships and getting the women paid how they should be with more viewers. That would be a better possibility.
Look, I'll add on. I'll add on to what you're saying with this. It's what makes the WNBA so hard is stardom. That makes the WNBA so hard. Look, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are popular for two completely different reasons. You look in the WNBA and you just put a pause on everything WNBA. What the fuck? You put a pause on everything WNBA related and just go to college. Audi Crooks is such a phenomenal talent, but because she looks like a walking hippo, it's like, ugh, she won't get the sales. And she's not on Duke or UCLA or UConn or, right? But like
Mm-hmm.
someone like Haley Van Lith, who is a hooper in Louisville, kind of fell off in terms of talent in LSU. And then she came back to TCU and now she's back on the map. But obviously, her and Cameron Brink got a different level because of, right? So, I mean, go on now. I'll be right back.
Yeah, but I do think in the next few years, especially with the WNBA getting better, like I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. It's especially I mean women's college, overall women's basketball, I should say. Just more talent coming out, especially out of high school, to get into the college level. And I think the college is where they're going to get more mainstream in a way. That's where people are going to actually enjoy the athletes, and then when they go to the WNBA, then they'll be able to follow after a few seasons. It's just if the WNBA needs to figure out something to keep that star power going, because you see it happen a lot. I still remember Bernie Griner. She was one of the first big names when we were growing up that was like WNBA basketball star. Um, Coming out of college, everyone knew her. She was this highly ranked person. Then it's like after a year or two in the WNBA, she kind of phased out, kind of blended into the rest of the WNBA where no one really talked about it. So what I'm hoping for is we get to a point where people get overall more interest, and that is including people like myself because if there's other games going on like NBA games, what makes you want to turn on a WNBA game over NBA game, unless the NBA game is just a horrible matchup. I don't know if either of y'all
I
want
kind
to
of think
go
what's the
ahead.
name is helping too. I think that helped it a lot. The athletes, of course, and not taking anything from the women and their abilities, but definitely the sports betting has helped viewership as well.
Mhm.
Just because I know even myself got introduced to some of these players because of sports betting. So of these women players because of sport betting that's in college right now. So that's also something that's a positive about sports betting for the women's basketball.
But, oh yeah, there's many things that are starting to get better, but hopefully it gets a consistent. And hopefully, more star power, like Grayson was saying, comes in and helps make it even more national, where people want to get more into it because of the stars. And then hopefully, I'll set up some good teams for people want to watch.
Look, what was the problem with the Spurs back in the day?
They were too fundamental and boring.
Way too fundamental, right? Even the best of the best, they won a lot of games. But what was the problem with the Spurs? Say it again, Matt.
They were fundamental and boring.
Right.
Yeah, they were boring.
So if you're looking at today's attention span for most people, they want to go on TikTok, they want to go on Instagram, they want to go on Twitter. 15 seconds. 15 seconds.
Mhm.
15 seconds. They don't want to spend that time sitting there for 2 hours watching missed layups. They just don't. The best females are really, really good at fundamentals. They can't jump from the free throw line and dunk. If for Wiley, I'm married. I love my wife. If for Wiley looked like Haley Van Lith, right? There will be no talks of Caitlin Clark. For Wiley will be the goddess of all of the WNBA to come. If you go look at how Fawali plays basketball, she hoop like she's get testosterone checked. She had a Balls Life mixtape in high school. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's the hard part. The audience, the main audience for the WNBA is, again, respectfully, is older Caucasian men. That is the main audience for WNBA since it has been created. And that's a crazy statistic, but that's the truth. Why? Because they like what, Matt? What do the Spurs play? Fundamentals. So you mix fundamentals and horn dog, and there you go. It's sad to say, but that's the truth. So if you don't appreciate the game, if you don't love the game, right? Like that little the TNT thing they did 3-on-3, that was so cool to watch. When me and my wife were going to New Jersey, they had it on the airplane. And I had basketball, college basketball, and then the TNT thing. And it's just straight basketball. Just hoops.
Mm-hmm.
Earnest. And it's like, if you don't love the game, it looks horrible. Like, what are you doing? But for me, it's like, I want to see that in NBA. I want to see the college guys do that. I want to see the college girls do that. But how colleges operate, especially with the females, if you're not elite, like Caitlin Clark, and can shoot from 3 steps inside the half court, you have to play system ball. And 80% of them cannot be good enough outside the system that it won't work. Like Hannah Hidalgo is a hooper. She is a hooper. But she's 5'5" at best and plays for Notre Dame without help. So any game she struggles, she's going to get kicked out of the tournament. Right? Same with Audi Crooks. So that's the problem, I think, with women's college basketball.
Right. I can agree.
I have something to say.
I'll let Derek go real quick.
For sure. My take is very quick. A little bit of what Grayson said, a little bit of what everybody was saying, to be honest. No dude wants to watch ugly girls do stuff, especially if they're bad at it, if we're being completely honest. So, one, the only people who are going to sell tickets are pretty girls. Two, I think the wrong people have the microphone and the cameras are on the wrong people. I think there's a lot of hoopers in the women's division. It's just they don't have the spotlight. And then my final point is, 1 second. And then in terms of like a solution, is it like lowering the bar so like we can get, you know what I'm saying? We can boost them up, or I don't know.
No. Look, I'll shoot that down right now. The last thing you want to do to a woman, and this is
belittle her.
Yeah, it's belittle. Candace Parker came out herself and said if that would hurt the WNBA and hurt the legacy more than it would help it. Look, Brittany Griner can dunk right now. There are girls in high school that are boom sticking. The problem is
it's
just not enough evolution yet together in total. They already have a smaller basketball. They play on a similar but not completely equal court. So if you say, let's lower the rim to 9 or 8.5 so they can dunk, that's gonna belittle them more than it's gonna help them.
Yeah, but I also think I hate saying it like this, but I feel like a lot of women who play, but not only play, but just women athletes in general and women in general have complained about this, but they have not helped to join the viewership. But I also feel like sometimes they don't completely grasp or understand that sports, the way you make money with sports is through the fans, through your viewership, through your investments, through your merch, through all of that. And it won't go anywhere if, they don't back it as well, because you're only going to get X amount of men that will. And, you need the women community to help the women out.
Yeah.
Which I think that's definitely gotten way bigger and better in the last couple of years.
I agree with you. Especially as someone who's a casual. I think it definitely is there's an incentive for also, women to watch other women play basketball, but I don't think the viewership is there for, like, do girls want to see other girls play basketball?
No.
Dude,
girls be the biggest haters ever. Like, dudes, no, let's be honest right now. Look, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. I love my wife. So we're watching Juju, and I'm like, Joaquin's little sister plays for UCLA. How do you know that? Okay, well, I've been watching him hoop for a very long time. And then they said in the middle of a Heat game, X, Y, and Z, right? But to the average person, it's like, you only know that because you think she's attractive. No, I know ball, right? So the problem with men is, like, we don't go, oh my God, you see that Kelly Oubre highlight? Kelly Oubre is not that good of an athlete, right? But everybody know he a pretty boy. Right. You feel me? But nobody cares he a pretty boy. Nobody cares Odell's a pretty boy, right? Like, whoever you want to say.
Right.
But to that competitive nature comes out. I'm not saying all women do this. I'm not saying no men do this. I'm just saying, generally speaking, that animosity and that jealousy, even within the WNBA, like how they were hating on Caitlin Clark, it is such a big thing. Like, you're Diana Taurasi, what are you doing? And look, if you ever see this podcast, I'm sorry, and we respect you. Yeah, but like, what are you talking about, right? Like, there's no reason. She is bringing money to your pockets. You should be salivating and celebrating. And I'm not saying it's like a mindset thing, but it is. Like, it really is the end of the day.
I can say that.
I mean, I feel like
the
WNBA. Share.
I'll let Cam go first real quick.
I'm just gonna say, I feel like the WA this year kind of welcomed Caitlin Clark like the old NBA basketball players do the new one right now. Except they can afford to do that just because, the men's viewership is up and in good standards, versus the women can't afford to do that right now because they're trying to get to that standard. I'm more of an Angel Reese fan, but I know Caitlin Clark is better. I just never seen anything from Caitlin Clark to make people hate her like they did inside the WNBA.
Yeah. Andrew, what's going on, man? Drew, for everybody. we're gonna let Matt finish his topic, and then I'm gonna let you have the floor to talk a little bit about yourself.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
just
what's
wanted
up,
to
y'all?
say because you were making your comment, Grayson, about like viewership and everything, and I wanted to bring up like something me and my wife talked about because um, my, like my wife, she played basketball. Maybe middle school year was her last year of basketball, so, but she's not really a big sports person. But she would tell me that the WNBA players need to get paid as much as men and everything and all that. Well, I told her, well, the issue when it comes down to it, like you were saying, when it comes to viewership, is how you mentioned women sometimes hate the women. And I told her, I was like, well, if you want WNBA viewership to go up, then more women need to watch it. Because I won't say I watch every single game, but if a game's on, I'll put it on. I just have something on and go back forward to instead of watching commercials. Um, Unfortunately, it's just not her thing, and that's where the issue is going to come in. Everyone wants to see the woman get paid. It's just you can't just say you want something to happen. You have to do something to make it happen.
Yeah, it's. Oh, go ahead.
That was it.
Yeah, look. Let's take gender out of this for a second. Let's just be honest, and let's take gender out of this. If you put robots in building A and robots in building B, and we said you have $100 million, okay? How can you make this $100 million into $300 million with building A or building B? Now, building A does layups. Building A makes 50% of their layups. Does back screens, back picks, shoots the three decently well, runs triangle, runs concepts. And then you have building B, who does all of that at a better percentage while dunking. I mean, like, you know what I mean? While being faster, while being strong, like it's basic evolution on why you would see if men's basketball never existed and that was the only form of basketball. Of course, they'll be getting paid, but you're literally competing with yourself with a literal, like it's an evolution aspect. That's why you can't compare it to soccer, because women and men's soccer, it is feats, it is work, it is a whole completely different standard. You know what I'm saying? Than just putting a basketball out there and saying go for it. I'm not saying a woman can't go on a man's court and go for it, but they were talking about Caitlin Clark going in the NBA. Bro, no. Look, she would be great in the WNBA. She could be one of the greatest of all time, but she would be mediocre at best in the NBA. Now, she went to 24-hour fitness, sure, you know? Like my wife played basketball.
There's still levels to it.
Yeah, my wife played basketball in college in Columbia. Scholarship. Baller. You feel me? She go up to 24-hour fitness, hustle people all the time. Right? Now, do I say, you know what? Lace them up. Let's go compete in the NBA. Hell no. That's not logical. Right? Oh, girl for UCLA right now, that's 6'7". Why is she so good? Because she's an anomaly. That's the equivalent of being 7'8" in the NBA. Like, you don't see that. You don't see people like Brittany Griner, who was a man at 14. You just don't see that. You know what I mean? So, of course, you're going to dominate, you know? I think the average height, the literal average height for a college female basketball player is 5'6". 5'6" to like 6'1". Are you kidding me? You're going D3. And you know what I mean? But let's just be honest. It has nothing to do with respecting women. We respect women. We care. And we love the game. But if you're not a passionate lover of the game, it's boring. It's boring. So if you're not bad, if you're not very attractive, which most women aren't going to be in the league if they're very attractive, because they're going to be making way more money doing something else, right? So guess what? The viewership isn't going to be very high for the casual viewer. Where in the NBA, a guy who's 50-50 on watching sports, the wife is never going to complain sitting next to her husband watching all those men out, right? Let's just be honest. Like, that's the truth. The viewership of NBA is going to be way higher. So I'm just playing the roles reversed role, you know? And I hope it doesn't start any controversy, you know? I'm not trying to get us banned or anything, you know, this early.
Well, I mean, I don't think it will cause any controversy. It's just honest fact. It's just, unfortunately, how do you know there's a problem? Well, obviously, because there has to be a problem.
Yep.
And if you ignore the problem, then how are you going to find a solution?
Yeah.
You're just saying what everybody's thinking. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, here you go. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Drew, man. What's going on with you, man? Thanks for joining.
Man, you know me, Grayson. You know what's up, Matt? Haven't seen you in a minute, man. It's been a long time for you guys. Nah, I mean, shit. I'm out here. I don't even know what the hell I just walked into. But talking about some very controversial things. I'm with it though. But nah, I mean, I'm only really kind of like an NBA head. Really, I don't really watch a lot of football. Not anymore, really. I don't know any of like a lot of the new players. You know, I watched like maybe 10 years ago. So all the guys that are in there from like 10 years ago, you know, I kind of keep up with those guys. But I mean, I'm not keeping up with the new draft picks and all that. It's too much to worry about. I just watch the Cowboys. You know, that's just me. So, you know. But yeah, man, you know, I'm a diesel mechanic. You know, I'm just out here working on trucks and watching sports. You know, whatever, man, playing them, just living life, man. You know,
for sure.
It's good to be here, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if you come around and stick around, welcome to the family. If you're just a, occasional guest, and we're always happy to have you. Things do get a little controversial, and you will have to dig in your bag at points in time. We do things like Build-A-Bear. We do things like trivia, and I don't know if you've seen any of our videos, but you really got to get in there about your knowledge. And if you don't know, it's okay to just sit out. It's okay to just jump in when you fit in. You can sit back with your feet up the whole episode and then just talk for 13 minutes. We have people do it all the time. So speaking of, let's jump back into NBA for a second. We had to take a couple episodes ago, and we were talking about your sleeper out of the East and sleeper out of the West. And two people, Sauce and Matthew, both said the Bucks. Now, it was controversial, and we had a little talk about it, and then we kind of left it because Dame was out. Knock, knock, knock. Dame's at the door. He's coming back. Hey, with what Giannis did, and let's actually discuss this for a second. Giannis last night did something that was beyond generational.
I actually didn't watch that game. What happened, man?
I heard about it. Was it a little stat pad? Sure. Okay. It was a little stat pad. And you got Brook Lopez at the 5 against the 76ers. So Brook Lopez is obviously not a rebounding big. That was a terrible trade for my fantasy basketball. But he's not a rebounding big. So Giannis ended up the game 12 for 19, 1 for 1 from 3. He had 2 turnovers. He had 17 rebounds. He had 2 steals. He had 35 points. And on top of that, he had 20 assists. Listen.
What?
You don't get 20 assists. You don't get 20 assists unless your whole team is banging at the exact same time. That's really rare. So a lot of that probably doesn't have to really do with him. And that 18, he really had like 17 real ones. A couple of them were like Jokic assists where it was like kind of really didn't. I don't know.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I did see a thing where out of all of his 20 assists, there's only 5 dribbles total.
Yeah.
So most of them were catch, like actually good passes.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. You know, I said it was 16. I said 16, 17, 18. That's what I said. So yeah, I would definitely say like that is the that's the so yeah, triple double, 35, 20, and 17. Mad impressive. Add Damian Lillard back to the group, and I see them beating the Pacers, Pistons, Magic, the Heat, the Bulls, the Hawks,
I think
that's it. Knicks, maybe. I still don't see them beating the Cavs and the Celtics. Let's do 45 seconds. Cam, go for it.
I'm about to say you got the name confused on the people because I was one of the ones who said the Bucks.
Okay.
Like,
what were your 2 teams?
Huh?
What were your 2 teams?
My sleeper teams?
Yeah, because Solomon said the Knicks and the Nuggets. Matt said the Rockets and the Bucks. Sauce said the Warriors, and I thought he said the Bucks.
He probably said it too, but I said the Bucks and the Warriors too.
Okay. Go for it.
But
a couple times.
I think the East, Giannis in the East is, he's always going to be a threat out that way. They're hitting up at the right time. If you can get Dame back, get him back in game shape, and get him back in rhythm, like I said, I think they go to the Eastern Conference Final almost and battle it out with the Celtics, but don't beat the Celtics. That's about as best as I give them.
Okay, Matthew.
I mean, Giannis right now is showing us that everyone's been forgetting about him. Everyone talks about Jokic because Jokic is one of those talents that we're not going to see that in a while, if not ever in our lifetime again. But Giannis is like, hey, I'm right here too. So the way we talk about Jokic, SGA, and all these other people, we talk about like Giannis is like top 6, top 7. He's debatably third or second best player in the league. In all honesty, especially if you want to see it with Luka's not doing as well and all that. The Bucks again can be a scary team, especially if Dame just catches fire. That duo can take you far. Now, I agree, the Cavs and the Celtics will be tough because they got too much. But the Bucks can make this very interesting if they could get hot at the right time.
Drew.
Yeah, just to piggyback on what Matt said, Giannis he's probably been a top 3 player in the league for how long now? I mean, dude's been on fire really since he came in. I mean, and just to see a performance like that, 20 assists, that's crazy for a guy his size. Like, really, it's not even his play style, but I mean, sometimes, you got to hit your guys when they're open. I respect that, and that's what wins games, just to be able to do that, have the ability to do that when need be. That goes a long way. I mean, he did everything for his team last night, and I mean, hell, he keeps having, games like that. They're going to be a real problem for sure. Especially, like you said, especially if Dame's catching fire, it's crazy. I would probably have them as one of my sleeper teams too. I mean, no one's really looking out for them. No one thinks they're really, a threat. But
That's what
you got to watch out for those guys, man. You gotta watch out for them.
All right. So everyone was pro, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Sometimes when we do a devil's advocate, it's like a yay or nay. So I say a name and you say yay or you say nay, right? So is Kyle Kuzma giving you 23 points in 7-game series? Yay or nay?
No.
Okay.
Are you saying a game or one game?
Is Kyle Kuzma averaging 23 points in a... Okay. Is Teron Prince giving you 20 in a 7-game... Okay. What about Ryan Rollins? Can he give you 15? Can he give you 15?
Not 8 night, but not 8 night.
7-game series. Can you count him for...
Nope.
All right, thank you. Brooke Lopez, can he give you a 10-10? Can he give you a 10-10?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. You want me to keep going to the bench, or what are we talking about right now? Because you're telling me y'all are no. Y'all are all telling me that the Bucks can make something shake, and here's what's gonna happen: the Boston Celtics, the Cleveland Cavaliers, are gonna say, Giannis, you're not beating us. Make them boys beat us, and none of them are gonna do it. What are we talking about?
The Cavs are very beatable. One, you can't. There's nothing you can do really to stop Giannis if you got a whole Dame as well. So you can't double team both. You know what I mean? And if you do double team both, I guarantee you, it's games where those guys.
Hold on. Whoa. See, this is what you're missing. What made the Spurs so boring?
They're fundamentally.
What makes the WNBA so boring?
Fundamentals.
Giannis plays one way. You can guard him from the free throw. Shoot the ball. Go ahead. Bro, what are we talking about?
Nobody's ever been able to do it. So if it's so easy, it's easier said than done. Yeah, he's been able to been beat in the series before, of course, but they have not been able to just shut Giannis down.
Okay.
Especially not when Dame is in the picture now, too, to spread the floor to where you can't just sit at that free throw line. That's what we're talking about. You don't need those guys, none of those guys, to go crazy. Even when they won the championship, a lot of teams were hurt that year. But even when they won, Chris Middleton was your next big scorer, and Chris Middleton is not a consistent scorer.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Chris Middleton played better for Giannis than CJ McCollum ever played with Dame. And Chris Middleton played on all three levels. Dame cannot play without the ball in his hands. What are we talking about right now?
What are you saying? So you saying Dame is a better addition than Chris Middleton? It's not. That's
No,
not the case.
Chris Middleton and Kuzma is the comparison to Chris Middleton. I'm taking over Kuzma every time. They threw Drew Holiday and their only perimeter defense for Dame Lillard. They had Kuzma. They had Chris Middleton and Dame Lillard. Remember?
Yeah, I'm saying that's this year. I'm saying the championship team. So I'm saying we seen him win, and I said that's why I said.
Oh no! We're not gonna do that. Look, Giannis. Look, I don't care what you say. That's an if that I will always ride by. The Nets were beating them by 50. 50.
Yeah,
no, bro. They played against.
You can't live by is, bro. That's KD's fault for his toe being that motherfucking big. Like,
bro, listen, bro. They played against Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and the boys. Bruh. Bro, we're not having this. We're not. If you want to talk about any run, ring.
It shouldn't have even been a case where Giannis took them to 7 if that's the case. They should never got to a 7 and that close. He took KD and them boys to war, and he won the war. If we go to war with a different country right now and we kill every man and they kill every man, but it's one man left and we're the one man left, we won the war. You know what I mean? So hey, that's how it happens. It's life. Giannis did it. We can't discredit that at all. And this year, all I'm saying is the Cavs are a fake record, and we've seen that already last year with the Pacers. They're a threat if they can be consistent, but they're not consistent. Then this is year 2, and they've shown that they're not consistent. The Pacers knocked them off. So if Tyrese Halliburton can knock you off, Giannis could knock you off.
Where did the Pacers end up last year?
They went to the conference finals, right?
They went to the Eastern Conference Finals. You know who was in the Western Conference Finals?
The Mavericks and Timberwolves.
The Mavericks and the Timberwolves. Are either of them teams going to the Western Conference Finals this year? It is a battle of matchups, dude. It's a battle of matchups.
They got a whole different roster.
Bro, Cleveland is literally beat. Cleveland is built.
Team you said got a whole different roster.
Bro, Cleveland is built from the ground up to beat Milwaukee. What are you talking about right now?
Yeah.
They have 6 big men.
Who did they add this year that's a threat? Hunter?
No, bro. Nah, bro. We're not doing that, bro.
Hunter?
Just in general, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley are built to both play off against Giannis.
We are doing that. If they're built to take on Giannis, how are they not built to take on Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Halliburton? Like, what are y'all saying?
All right, so Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent, and Pat Connaughton are gonna give you 15 threes a game, ain't they, huh? Because you're gonna have to have snipers on the corner.
You need them to do that because nobody on the Pacers did that. They had 2 guys that went off, and you got 2 guys.
They play different basketball. Rick Carlisle does not play basketball the same as how
they play completely different basketball. You're correct on that. But like I'm saying, on star power and the wheel, if it's playoff basketball, if Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam can get it done, Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo can get it done. You can't argue against that without that's real stuff. If they can get it done, then these 2 dudes who are better than them can get it done. And yeah, matchups do matter.
Yes.
I mean, something we have to look at is Doc Rivers going to be the coach that takes them to a championship?
You know what Doc do for? You know what Doc is due for.
That's what I said. That's the only thing that's nasty. But I literally seen Jared Allen quit last year, tapped out.
No, Jared Allen said he literally came out of his mouth and said the lights was too bright. Now look, that ain't got nothing to do with matchups though. Ain't got nothing to do with matchups.
Man, the light was too bright for him, man. The light's gonna be too bright. And this year, like I said, they didn't even play each other. If Giannis is they're such a Giannis stopper. Giannis still has performed very good against the Cavs this year. The last matchup they just had, he went for 30-9 on 13 for 24. You know what I'm saying? That's 54%. You know
all right, bro. So look, you know ball, right? You know ball?
Yeah.
Who is Dean Bona?
Dean Bona?
Oh, okay.
The dude, a Bona for the 76ers?
Oh, okay. What about Jared Butler?
Bona, right? Huh?
What about Jared Butler?
Jared Butler plays for the 76ers as well.
He had 31 minutes last night, bro. Bona had 35 minutes, bro. What are we talking about right now?
I said when we played the Cavs, and look, both those dudes you said, I named both of them the team they played for. But no, I said the last time he played the Cavs, The last time he played the Cavs, this year, even last two matchups, Giannis has shot over 50% and got 30 balls on their head, double doubles. How's Evan Mobley and Allen just such a Giannis stopper?
It's not about being a Giannis stopper. During the regular season, it's 5-on-5. During the playoffs, you are limiting the superstars and literally coaching the game.
And you're right. That's totally right. That's totally right. You limited the superstars.
And
right?
so I named the next.
How bad do you think they're gonna limit him?
Look, it's not. Look, I named the next 4 role players. The next 4 role players on the Bucks, and it was nay across the board for if they can do their job. What are you talking about?
Can you do that for the Cavs then? Because
let's do it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're talking about average points. Now I can get you that points on certain nights. So after Darius Garland, and not even Darius Garland, go Evan Mobley almost over Darius Garland. And
No. Okay, look.
You said what?
We got Donovan Mitchell. We're going to put Donovan Mitchell to the side, right? And then we're going to go down the board. I put Giannis to the side, and I went down the board.
Yeah, you put Giannis and you put Dame to the side. So grab his second best. Grab Donovan Mitchell second best.
So who you want?
Who you want? You want to go? Okay.
It's your choice. You said the Cavs. No.
Darius Garland averaged more points than Mobley, I believe. So Darius Garland and Mitchell, that's Dame and Giannis. So boom, with 2-2, they tied up. It's 0.
So Evan Mobley can't give you 17-8, 15-8.
That's the only other person. That's the one. So that's one person. That's the only person.
Can he, yes or no, give you 15-8?
Yes, he's the only one.
Can Jared Allen give you a 10-10 or a 15-15?
He can't give you a 15-15.
Oh my God, you're crazy. Oh my God. Bro, how many bigs are in the East? How many bigs are in the East?
Jared Allen's going to give you a 15-15?
How many bigs are in the East?
You said what?
Who's guarding him on the Bucks? Who's guarding him on the Magic? Who's guarding him on the Pacers? Who's guarding him on the Knicks? Bro, stop.
He still does. It's regular season basketball. He doesn't even average those numbers. So why is he going to average those against a playoff team?
Is Max Strus averaging four threes in a 7-game series?
No, not 4 threes a game. No,
I can see it.
I can see 3 to 4. I definitely, for sure, can see it.
Oh my God!
What?
He just didn't do it last year. Last year he didn't just do it. So
he's played way better this year than last year.
You can see. Look, you can see it happening. If what's name catches fire on streak, then Kyle Kuzma can average 17 points a game. Like, what are we saying? We're gonna say that.
The Bucks need a much bigger role out of Kyle Kuzma than they do need out of Strus. What are we talking about right now? Can DeAndre Hunter give you 15 3-3? Can DeAndre Hunter give you 15 3-3?
A night?
Average that in a 7-game series.
I don't think so. No. I don't think so. No.
I think Hunter's biggest thing is going to be defense. It's not going to be too much offense. If the Bucks' game plan to leave him open, then maybe. But if they're just like, okay, regular offense, and then Hunter just annoy the hell out of Dame, probably most likely be Kyle Kuzma or something like that. That's where it's going to be his asset.
Yeah, his asset. And I think I think they made a better choice with going with DeAndre Hunter this year than Karis LeVert, even though I essentially almost see them as the same, except that Hunter is a better per scorer. Yes, I do think that's a better move, so that makes them slightly better than last year on the Pacers exit.
Bro, what are you talking? Bro, hold on, time out. The biggest problem with the Bucks is not the fact that they scoring. They have nobody to play defense. Nobody's guarding Tyrese Halliburton. Nobody's guarding Jalen Brunson. Nobody's guarding anybody on the Celtics. Giannis plays corner defense. Bro, what are we talking about right now? Bro, the trade of Drew Holiday tanked that franchise. Doc Rivers is not, I'm sorry, I don't care what you say, who you say, how you say it. He's not a defensive head coach that's going to mastermind a 7-game series. So impress me to how that's going to work. Who they stopping defensively?
Like, here's going to be the biggest issue. Cavaliers, all they're going to do is have Donovan Mitchell or Darius Garland at the top, and whoever Brook Lopez is guarding is going to be setting the screen.
Pick and roll.
Yep, they're going to force Brook Lopez to have to guard pick and roll. If he sags off, that's an open jumper.
Bro, every game he's in foul trouble early, they're going to get blown out. Every game, Brook Lopez gets 3 fouls before that 6-minute mark in the second quarter, they're going to get smoked. It's not even close. And I hope Giannis stays out of foul trouble because that little elbow thing he does, that gets called in the playoffs. The 12-second free throws gets called in the playoffs. 3 seconds, called in the playoffs. 5 seconds back to the basket, called in the playoffs. You can't do that in the playoffs.
I pray this matchup goes down just so y'all can see it, y'all. The Cavs, I gave my explanation. Y'all just don't, like y'all say, y'all don't agree. And that's all right. Because like I said, I can see where y'all coming from with y'all explanation. If you go off what we were seeing in the regular season this year, Grayson, you're correct. I don't mind saying that. But if we go off of what I know playoff Cavs look like, and what we all should know what playoff Cavs look like, which the playoff Bucks, this team we haven't even seen yet, really. I just think it would be a closer matchup than what you're giving it, for sure. Now, you're right. If they have those games where Lopez is in foul trouble, early foul trouble, and Giannis, we're turning a 40-point playoff blowout. You know what I'm saying? You're right.
It's just going to depend on the Cavs. If they showed them how they did last year, then I can see your argument, Cam. But if they're just like, hey,
that's all I'm saying. If they come in,
just straight up like, hey, we're going in, we have a brand new mindset. We took a whole week off season and regular season to mentally prepare us for this playoffs. We feel like we made the correct changes. They can't be scary. Are the Celtics scary? No, but they can make a little bit of noise.
Yeah. And that's all I was saying. And the thing I'm saying about the Cavs, we're still seeing it as of late. In the last 2 months, going into the most important part of the season, they have now started playing their worst basketball. This is a repeat of last year. So what I'm going off based off what I've seen and what history told me, this is going to look like last year.
What was the Cavs record last year?
They won 55 plus games last year still.
I'll find it out real quick.
I don't remember.
Because they are 5-5. They are 5-5 in their last 10, and they are a whopping 61-15. They literally led the league in record until 9 days ago.
Until we see
it's not the same as last year.
Last year, the Cavs were the 4th seed with a record of 48-34.
Oh damn! Okay, they didn't win.
Like, what are we talking about right now?
They didn't win 55.
I thought they won more than that.
Yep, it was the Celtics.
Me too. Look, right.
No.
So that's the point I want. Look, I knew it wasn't 60 because I was about to say they didn't do what they did this year and won 60.
No, because look, we had this argument last year. Remember, we didn't have this argument last year, but the argument last year was, are the Magic that close to being really good as a team? Or does Cleveland just need a little bit more time to gel? Is Donovan Mitchell staying in Cleveland? Because you remember that was a dynamite 7-game series, and the Magic sold. The Magic sold that series. That was the talk of the town last year. Pascal Siakam, not enough time with Indiana against the Bucks, and they still find a way to win because they scored. Because Tyrese had like 7 threes in the first quarter. Like what? Like bro, what are we talking about? Yeah, like he gets nuclear quick, and they play a fast-paced Rick Carlisle offense. All right, great. That's gonna outscore him at that point. Just outscore him. So yeah, I get that. So let's look at the matchups right now. Currently, we got play-ins for Miami and Chicago. Atlanta at 8, or Orlando at 7. Then we got Detroit at 6, who will be playing New York first at 3. Milwaukee playing Indiana at 4 and 5. And then Cleveland at 1, Boston at 2. Reminder. 1 second. Reminder. We talked about this 3 weeks ago on the pod. It should be on your TikTok and Instagram for everybody watching. We said, who are the 2 teams out of the top 6 on both sides who have an under 500 record against opposing other top 6 teams? It was 2 teams. Y'all remember the teams? I'll help you. The Bucks and the Lakers. Guess what? The Pacers have joined that crew, and it ain't by much. So, whoever gets home advantage, I think, out of that Pacers-Bucks is going to win that series. And right now, it looks like it's the Pacers. The Pacers are 18-20. The Bucks are 17-20.
Yeah, I mean, even if you look at the last 10 games for them, the Pacers are 8-2 and the Bucks are 4 and 6. Like the Pacers are warming up, and Tyrese is playing some of his best basketball from all year. And like, do I still think the Bucks can win that series? Absolutely. But the Pacers, if they are hot, Miles Turner can be an actual like Bucks killer in the aspect of how he spaces the floor. If Giannis guards him, then you're going to have Brook Lopez do everything in that paint. if Brook guards him, and then he has the ability to space out, and the Pacers will live with Miles shooting. And then Pascal Siakam will just do whoever's guarding him, he's just going to do his thing. So Pacers can be a really interesting team against that Bucks matchup. That'll be a very good series, actually.
Look, man. Orlando sending the Celtics home in 6. Hey, look, listen. I know that's wild. Look, I know it's crazy. Just hear me in the vision. Porzingis doesn't get healthy in time. Something happens because he's playing. He's playing right now. Something happens with Porzingis and he misses some time. Or something happens with Jason Tatum and his ankle not fully recovered. Jaylen Brown. One mishap. They're losing to the Magic in 6. They need everything to beat the Magic, and then they're going to coast to the finals. I think that'll be their toughest matchup, but that's the matchup they get. That's my spooky out the East.
Hey, right now the one I'm looking at is that Pistons versus Knicks. I feel like the Pistons can win that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That would be scary for the Knicks.
That's what we got.
What it looks like, though, because the Detroit and Milwaukee are tied right down the middle. Okay? If Milwaukee could somehow figure out a way to get to 6, and we can get Detroit to 5, oh, that's going to be beautiful. Man, Detroit and the Pacers going at it like the old days. And then Giannis in New York, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would love to see that.
We need another Malice in the Palace.
Yeah, I would like that.
We need one more.
I would definitely like that. So, switching gears.
Oh, that would be the real quick. I'm sorry to hold up, because you look at that matchup and you saw what happened already earlier in the season with that little scuffle with Isaiah Stewart talking to Miles Turner about he plays with Legos.
Yeah, it's true.
That would be a heated series. That would actually. I hope that happens now. That would be an amazing series.
That's very true. Yeah, that was funny. Switching gears, pulling the e-brake, going to the other side. OKC is at 1. Houston is at 2. H-Town, what's the word over there, man? Look, OKC got an 11-game winning streak, 10-0 in their last. They got it, man. All right, the one season wrapped up over there. It's not close. Houston, they got a tough finish to their season, but I think 2 seeds locked up. Now, this is where it gets pickles, right? Denver is 0.5 above the Lakers, who are 1 game above the Warriors, who are 0.5 above Memphis and Minnesota, who is 0.5 above the Clippers, who is 6 games and a half above Dallas. So, look, 8 through 1 is pretty locked in. 9, 10, and 11 is kind of cute, but Golden State and the Lakers are lined to be matched up first round right now. Denver, Memphis, that's a fun matchup. What y'all got out of those?
Well, it's always good to see Curry versus LeBron. You love to see that. So, that's just an OG matchup right there. So, hey, that's the series I'm going to be watching every single game. So, look at me. I think the Warriors are going to win it, though. I don't know, man.
I think that Houston versus Timberwolves series can be very interesting. In fact, if the Clippers stay with that A seed, I think that could be an interesting series if Kawhi is truly healthy with James Harden. That could cause a little bit of problems. Now, I still think Oklahoma City's got that, but
100%.
Like, Kawhi is still at that level where we can't say he's not going to ball.
Yeah, but he's not out.
Yeah. Whoa. I almost said something when he said the Warriors would take the Lakers series.
Oh man,
man, I think this playoffs is going to be very amazing. I think we're at a point to where the NBA has the talent level very widespread, and we are at a point to where we keep arguing. We don't know who's going to win it all. We know who's going to maybe go or have a great idea, but we can't say that 100%. Like, you guys wouldn't put the house on it. So I like where the NBA is at on the East and the West, and it looks like it's heading in the right direction.
First of all, watch out.
I like that.
Hold on. Screw. Remember I said that e-brake? We take the wheels off the car. We're gonna sit here for a little bit. Hold on now. The East is completely out the picture right now because the East is low-key flat. It's flat compared to the West. It's like night and day. It is. It's fun over there, but this business over here. Look, let me tell you what's going to happen. Great taste prediction. Look, the NBA has a little bit of politics, and it's fun. And right now, the biggest politic is bro getting fined $75,000 for pew, 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 waving a little Star Wars sword around, right? Listen, Draymond choked Rudy Gobert and only got fined $25,000. 25! And he got fined $75 for a little water gun. Listen, here's what's going to happen. Memphis is going to fall into the play-in. They're going to find their... Look, Minnesota... Let me stat check. Minnesota is on a 4-game winning streak, 7-3 in their last 10. Clippers are 8-2 in their last 10. Memphis is 3-7 in their last 10. With that most recent win going against the Miami Heat. Wow. Look, they're going to fall down, and they're going to wind up playing the current Aura King, the face of the league from Canada, the MVP, versus who was supposed to be the face of the league until he got a little too gangster. Let me tell you, that's a matchup made in heaven. That is a matchup. You have Edie and them boys, and JJ versus Hardenstein, and help me out. What's bro's name? Chet. Right? You got Ja, you got SG. Like, bro, that is a star-studded, perfect matchup. And I want to see that going 6-7 games. That would be great compared to the Clippers doing it. Now, the Clippers, I would love to see something like the Clippers and the Rockets. Ooh, that'd be good. And you want to talk about a game that would be real good in a series? Let's talk about Westbrook blowing that layup against which team in overtime? The Timberwolves. That's the perfect setup. So you got Timberwolves, Nuggets, you got Warriors, Lakers, you got Clippers versus the Rockets, and then you got Ja and the Grizzlies, Grizzlies, and SGA and the Aura Thunder. Oh my God. What? There's no boring matchups.
No.
Not one.
I know this is random and everything, but Cam, just to let you know, I think right now LeBron and Luka and all of them are praying that somehow the Warriors lose a couple games and the Grizzlies win. I think they're praying that some.
You saying that
Minnesota?
You saying that makes no difference in my opinion to what I said, because we literally said that I agree that the Warriors are scary for anybody. What do you mean? They're scary for anybody. A hot Steph is scary for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But
I would not see Butler fucking turn it up too, man. You never know with that guy.
But he's not going to be able to turn it up to the Miami Heat version just because the ball dominance and shot dominance of Stephen Curry. This is my team.
Not what he was. No, definitely.
Yeah, this is my team. But
all right, so.
But yeah, it's going to be scary.
Warriors versus the Rockets, right? They got the Nuggets today. Who you got them? You got the Nuggets or the Warriors today?
I got the is everybody back from the Nuggets? I got the Nuggets winning tonight only because
got the Nuggets on that one.
Okay, 0-1
tonight.
Okay, 0-1. Now, Rockets Warriors, who you got?
Yeah, you got me going 0-1 for that.
No, just wait. 0-1. Rockets Warriors, who you got?
Warriors.
I guess the Rockets.
Oh man, Houston's gonna put up a fight on that one.
All right, so we got 0-2. We got 0-2. All right.
Yep.
Warriors Suns.
You already said the Warriors.
All right, 2-1. Warriors Spurs.
Talking about the rest of their season.
I'm finishing the regular season.
Warriors.
All right, 2-2. Warriors Trailblazers.
The Warriors.
All right, the 3-2. Now, take it. Remember, the next one is the last game of the season, which could impact going. with being 3-2 in the previous 5, this could impact them being the play-in. Warriors, Clippers at Golden State.
Ooh, and that's a
Warriors.
big game for both of them.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna go with the James Harden and Curry old matchup, but Curry pulls it out.
All right, so 4-2.
I don't think Curry's gonna let that slide.
Yeah.
All right, so 4-2.
Kawhi plays. I probably got the Clippers.
All right, 4 All right, 3-3 at worst. Everybody's saying at worst 3-3. Pelicans, Lakers.
Lakers.
Yeah.
1-0. Lakers, Thunder.
They lost both of those.
So 1-2. Lakers, Mavs.
Lakers.
Uh-oh.
Let's go, Mavs.
All right, so 2-2. Oh no,
Hey, Anthony Davis
1-3. 1-3.
Yeah.
1-3. Rockets, Lakers.
Lakers again. They just beat them
Lakers on that.
Rockets.
Man.
I'm gonna go
Rockets.
Yeah, like it's okay. Look, don't listen.
I can't. I'm not gonna
get.
get. Wait. Hold on. I'm not gonna get. Okay, so 2-3.
The Rockets are hot.
2-3. Trailblazers, Lakers.
Lakers.
Okay, so Lakers finishing the season 3-3. Golden State finishing the season 4-2. If you add 3 wins to the Lakers, they are 49 and 33. If you add the 4-2 to the Warriors, they are 49 and 33. Who got the tiebreaker?
Lakers.
All right. So I'm just saying, depending on who's playing at home and who's playing on the road, that's going to change the landscape of that series, huh?
Oh, big time. Big time. And Lakers got home. Both of them are amazing at home, too.
Dang, man.
A couple of the ones y'all said that the Warriors might lose, I think they can pull it out.
Look, I think y'all are
Like,
missing
right now,
the point.
Warriors are
And
supposed to
if you say that,
Yeah, I
that's
know
me
what you're
saying
saying.
the Lakers can pull out the one game from OKC.
It's possible, for sure.
It's gonna be hard for anybody to pull a game off of those guys.
Honestly, I could see them making one game. I could honestly see them winning.
Yeah, just one. I would be on. You would say something's in my blunt if I say they can go back to back and win both.
I think the only reason why they wouldn't win is because he's stat padding for MVP. And
Yeah, but at the same time, we start padding not to play Stephen Curry in the Warriors. So
there's only
That's
one
thing about the
team.
Warriors, man. I feel like you can't ever count those guys out, man. Like, no matter who's on that damn team, they always find a way to stay relevant and just stay good and just a threat. That's why they're just a fun team to watch in that aspect. You know, they match up good against anybody. I feel like they can just make it work against virtually anybody.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know,
can
that's the way I feel
something
about
real
watching
quick,
them.
just something random. I know you're like LeBron and Luka, you're gonna be excited about that, but when are we going to take a factor maybe that Steve Kerr might just be a better coach than JJ Redick, especially first year coaching JJ Redick?
no.
Yes.
That,
Look, you
Yeah,
cannot give
crazy.
JJ
I
cookies
kinda look at
yet. You cannot give him
I'm
that
not
much
giving him
cookies yet.
cookies yet, but no, we're not gonna act like Steve Curry is just a amazing coach or anything like that. He's coached great rosters. And then had a Stephen Curry, Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson run 2022, and he's not that good of a coach to where he's gonna make up the big talent difference between the Lakers and rosters. Like I said, I love that. You know, y'all can build it up, and this is what they're supposed to do: build up this matchup and everything, and make it seem like the Warriors are gonna beat them. And if it goes the right way, they could. You know, if Luka chokes this playoff series, it could go their way. LeBron not going to choke in the playoff series. We haven't seen that since 2011. Choking. So yeah. I mean, I just
Can we
don't.
not, like, I'm sorry, you're making it seem like Steve Kerr's just like a head coach and he just benefits from a roster. Like,
He's
yeah,
a-
you
he's
think
a
you have
good
a
That's
good
one of the better
roster?
coaches in the league.
He's a good.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a better
Dude,
coach. He's a
but
good
you-
coach, brother.
all they do is ISO. And like Steph Curry just does his thing. No, they run good sets.
Yeah.
You know who
Yeah.
didn't run
They're
some
just
good
trying to
sets?
Work. He's been working with that team and that scheme forever.
Their defense is a good transition defense.
You watched that
Like how
game
they
last
rotated them.
that game last night. There's something weird about the Lakers and how they played, and I think it got masked by Rui having 24 and Reeves putting up 9 3-point attempts. 9 3-point makes.
What was up with that?
Look, Luka was playing
How
weird.
did that get masked?
No, listen. Austin Reeves' ability to shoot the three, and two of them were quite miraculous and random. And Rui Hachimura gathering a bundle of points masked the point that Luka was on cruise control that entire game. He was not there to play. And he put a couple shots up in the fourth and had a free throw or two, a little 3-point jump and then a midi jump that got him 5 points from his free throws. But, dude, he finished the game 6 for 17, 0 for 6, 19 points. I feel like he didn't even try.
It was just a bad night. I mean, like I said, he's been playing better lately. That's what I'm saying. So if it was a very close game like this with a bad night from Luka, like he's basically just out there chunking shots. Because if you're shooting 17 shots and you only make 6, you know what I mean? In a game like this, you're hurting your team more than helping.
What are you talking about? A very close game. The Warriors won about 10-15 the whole game.
Dude, they had a chance though. They had a chance at the end.
I'm saying the last 3 minutes, dude. They got it down to like 8 points.
Wow,
6. It was
whopping
6 at the end, like with like a minute.
They got it down to 6, and then what happened?
Wow,
they got it down to 6, and then what happened?
That fucking turnover. That
turnover.
I forgot who got it. That
you're counting Stephen Curry free throws at the end when you got a foul. Before those free throws, bro, it was still a 8-point game.
It was definitely within reach, man. It's just they really had that turnover at the end. When I forgot exactly what was it, Hachimura or whoever had that and tried to pass it to Luka right there, like for no reason. That was kind of weird. I don't know why the hell he would have thought about doing that, but that right there is what lost them the game. I don't.
Yeah, this was a close game. 6 to 8 points in basketball. Anything under 12 points, 12 and under in basketball is a close game. Like,
look, I see what you're saying. That's fair. But I mean, both sides have a lot to figure out before playoffs, and their best matchup, I feel, is each other. They'll probably bring the most out. Look, there was a point in time where Steph didn't touch the ball for like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. Jimmy Butler was brain dead out there. Them braids were way too tight in his head. Look, that stretch where Steph didn't touch the ball, the Lakers were on like a 7-0, 9-0, 11-0 run. And the literal time Steph touched the ball, he did a fake jab, cut through the screen, off ball, caught the ball, did a little dance, and hit a floater. And boom, it immediately sucked all the life out of Staples Center / crypto, whatever they call it. Look, going against Denver, Jokic is going to touch the ball every time going down. Look, call it what you want. Jackson Hayes is not a 5. And guess who is worse than a 5? LeBron. If they're having trouble against the Warriors, Bud.
Just talking. LeBron is worse than a 5.
Bro, what are you talking about? He's not a 5 center. He's not.
You're saying he's worse than Jackson Hayes at a 5. That is incorrect. What numbers support this? And we just seen this happen 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. And you can say regular season game or not, all these games are been very important. So everybody playing is hard. Bro, LeBron was on Luka for a lot of possessions against that game, and Luka against LeBron did not do good at all.
What?
And they won the game.
Who? Oh, Jokic. You're saying Luka, you mean Jokic.
I'm saying Luka, my bad. Look, I'm being, my bad, stereotype type up. But, yeah, Jokic, we're talking about Jokic, was getting held by LeBron majority of the game, and when he was held by LeBron,
dude,
he was in check. So what are we saying? He can't play the 5. He can't play the game a whole 7 series guarding Jokic. No, I'm not saying that. I would be delusional saying that at 40 years old. Okay. It will get to game 3 and Jokic will put up 80 points. You said what?
They were helping big time, making sure the ball doesn't go to Jokic.
Yeah, you know that they were denying the ball as well. Yeah, that's going to happen. You're not going to guard Jokic 1-on-1 completely.
Yep. So why are you talking like this?
This is Jokic. No center in the NBA is guarding Jokic 1-on-1. You're not even going to put Embiid if he was healthy 1-on-1 on Jokic. Okay, you're going to help him trap.
LeBron can guard Sengun.
You said what? Easily. What are you saying?
No, he can't. Bro, no, he can't. LeBron cannot guard Alfred Sengun.
Guard somebody is keeping him to 10 points a game. Nobody can keep any type of star in this league to 10 points a game.
No help.
Yes, he's going to win. Of course, Sengun's going to win some possessions, but he's not going to kill LeBron. Like, what are y'all saying? And I will go pull up game clips stat numbers, percentage, everything like I do every time we
Let me
argue
ask
stuff
this.
like
Let me
this.
ask this. Would you rather, if you were the Houston Rockets, would you rather have LeBron guarding Sengun 1-on-1, or would you rather have LeBron in the corner?
I'd rather have LeBron
Okay.
in the corner. What do you mean? I
Wait a
would
minute.
have Jackson Hayes on Sengun.
I'd rather have
Jackson
LeBron
Hayes
on
has no
Sengun.
type of
Whoa.
footwork.
Rockets, I would love to see LeBron on Sengun.
Hold on.
If I'm the Rockets, if I see LeBron on Sengun the entire game, the beginning of the game, I'm not going to give it the ball and say Sengun tech. I'm going to try to make him be a playmaker. And then once LeBron is going, maybe second half, then I tell him attack. He's not going to be able to attack the whole game. What are y'all saying? Sengun got to get his muscle
You
up.
are missing.
So if he's not at the rim when
Time out. Both of y'all are missing the point. It don't matter. LeBron can guard Jesus Christ, Mary, Peter, Joseph, and all the disciples. You are missing a drastic point, and I have said this every episode on the pod. LeBron can't guard everybody, and he for sure ain't stopping no 5 for 4 quarters. Luka on the court is a problem. If you put Luka and Austin Reeves on the court, it's a big problem. If you put Luka, Austin Reeves, and Connect or any other shooter, including LeBron James, on the court, poopy diaper, you're going home. They're not beating the Nuggets. They're not beating the Rockets. They're not beating the Thunder with that lineup. It's not happening. You don't have paint defense. You don't have perimeter defense.
Like I said, y'all seen the way they played and how they played the defense against the Nuggets that night. That's literally how they're going to play it in the playoffs. That was the first time they tried to play it like that this whole season. We can go watch every matchup together.
No, let's go watch the Lakers game from last night. That was a playoff game, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they lost the game. They're not gonna sweep everybody. When have I ever said that? Because if so, then we can go watch every other game again that they played the Warriors and they won. What are we saying? We can go watch a recent playoff game where they played the Nuggets and for a good seeding and they won. What are you going to say then? And I will show you clips of LeBron holding this, man. What are you going to say then? I can show you clips of them denying Jokic the ball and how they're going to play them and who they're going to make beat them. Now, of course, Jamal Murray is going to step that up a notch. Those are one of those guys that we know when he plays the Lakers, or just the Lakers, honestly, he steps it up and goes crazy in the playoffs. So we know, yeah, okay, Jamal Murray was off in that, but we can't count on that in the playoffs. But like I said, Jamal Murray, you'd rather have Jamal Murray trying to beat you than you have Jokic opening up for everybody to beat you. So saying they can't win that series is crazy. Because we're going what you said, right? Last night, you just said last night was a playoff game, correct?
Yes.
So that means last week the Nuggets and the Lakers game was a playoff game for seeding, correct? And when they had a healthy team, correct? Yes, both teams did, correct? Correct. And who won? The Lakers, correct?
When you say OKC, what's the first person you think of?
Say.
When you say Houston Rockets, what's the first person you think of?
Yeah, that's the mixed king. That's what I'm saying, Goon. And you said the Rockets cannot beat that. I'd rather see the Rockets in the 7-game series than the Warriors. You have no driven star, so you have nobody on that team that's just a driven star that's going to kill us every night.
Bro, that's worse for you. That's worse for you. They're in the 2 seed with no driven star. What are you talking about? They're playing basketball. They're sitting. They're sitting.
Exactly. And when you get to the playoffs, just like you said, you have matchup. You focus on one team. So if you know that if I'm not about to have nobody who's going to go off every night, that means those nights where everybody's average, you're getting your ass tapped. What do you mean?
Not with him. Not Udoku. Not when Udoku's my coach.
And Udoku's a great coach, and he's a great coach. He is, but all his guys on his team are inconsistent players.
I like that because that's what they've been saying about the Rockets all year. Now, when they pull up in the Western Conference Finals, I don't want to hear it.
Those wasn't none of your picks, but that's one of your picks now because
I didn't make any picks. I didn't make any picks.
You had not said them was one of your threats or anything.
That's cap.
To go to the finals.
That's a lie. Now look, I said the Denver Nuggets and the Celtics is going to be my matchup for the finals.
Yeah,
that did not.
Fact, you did say that.
I've been posting Houston Rockets I might be a little biased. I might be a little biased on the Houston Rockets train, but how they play, they can do it. I think so for sure. So that could be bias speaking, maybe delusion, but saying that I'm gonna sit there and watch Austin Reeves and Luka just put their hands in their pockets on defense, you're on dope.
Reeves don't put his hand in his pockets on defense.
That's gonna be the only thing that kills him, man.
Yeah, like I say, if you think the Rockets, y'all better off saying the Warriors. But if you think the Rockets,
no, the Warriors is a lock. The Warriors sending you home.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Hey, I like
Hey,
that
man.
to say that. I love
Hey,
that.
man, with the Warriors, I feel like with the Warriors, it's really going to hinge on how well Jimmy plays. Because, I mean,
That's all
we
it is.
pretty much,
Because Luca plays like
yeah.
Luca, bro. If everybody don't play out there, but that's the thing. Nobody have to play out their body to beat the Warriors. The Warriors have to have people to play out their body to beat the Lakers.
What the
If Luca
hell?
plays like Luca,
Right.
if Austin
Because
Reed plays like
Steph's going
Austin
to show
Reed,
up.
Boy,
and LeBron
what?
plays like Austin Reed, I mean LeBron plays like LeBron, they win. If Curry plays like Curry and Jimmy plays like Jimmy, they don't beat those three.
Oh my
But if you
God.
have a dude like Kaminga plays out his body every night because Kaminga's not as consistent, and y'all know that the percentage shows it. And you have Brandon, he's not even a great 3-point percentage shooter. Shoot eight and make 8 threes last night. If you have stuff like that every night, then you're gonna win. Yeah, but they're not gonna have that.
What was more?
What about
What was
Draymond
more
Green?
impressive?
Still got Draymond Green out there.
What was more impressive? Jimmy Butler taking that Heat to the finals, or LeBron taking that Cavs to the finals? Oh, okay.
That about the same. Just because,
Oh, okay. So
I
put
don't
respect
know.
on his
Just
name when it
just
comes to the
because some of those
playoffs.
dudes on the Heat were,
So put respect
a
on his
lot of
name when it
dudes
comes to
on
the
the Heat were
playoffs.
undrafted.
Hey, Kyrie, though.
You said what?
So put
I was
respect
saying
on
LeBron
Jimmy
had
when it comes to the
Kyrie.
playoffs. Oh
You
no,
said-
we're
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about we're talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
now we're talking
Jimmy's
about
real.
the first Cavs when he went against
Playoff Jimmy's real, though. That guy, when he wants to show up, I feel like he's one of the best basketball players on the floor. But sometimes he just has
And like
very
I said, we just said
inconsistent
that. That's not
Don't
going
cut
to
him
be
off.
able to happen this time. He's not
Yeah.
going to be able to take that. He
Yeah,
got
I
to be
mean-
the guy.
That's what I'm saying. He's got he's got to share that role with Steph too. I mean, because Steph's gonna be that guy. He's always kind of been that guy since since what 2014, 2013.
Yeah, 14.
And yeah, so I mean, and Jimmy, he held it down on his team on the Heat when he was there, but he's not there anymore. He's on Steph's team now, so I think he's still trying to find his role. I mean, it was a mid-season trade, man. I mean, he's still trying to make it work. He's still, trying to figure out how to move around without the ball in his hands and kind of work around Steph because he knows
Jimmy's
that.
not a guy who scores without this ball in his hand, correct?
Exactly.
He's a pure scorer.
Yeah, that's what he is. I mean, and he can play good defense, from time to time when he, really wants to. I mean, I would say he's a pretty good defender, but I mean,
Sitting on
he's
Luka.
got that defensive mindset. But
Yeah,
it's just all going to
Luka.
hinge on him, man, and how well he plays. I mean, I feel like.
And
Yeah. And Draymond too.
Draymond's going to always play good in the playoffs. Yeah, he has not disappointed once.
I mean, hell, you saw how he played last night. He won them the damn game last night.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Thank y'all.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He went Draymond's defense is something that's amazing. But
Dude had like 2 steals at the very end right there. Crazy.
And the 3-pointer.
And then I said his hit don't always show up on the stat line. Right. Draymond Green don't always show up on the stat line.
Neither does Jimmy Butler though. Hold on now.
Yeah.
And you're completely right on that. I won't even argue with that. Like I can't argue or bet you he's one of those players who make winning plays.
But like Dame, Donovan Mitchell, Luka, it's stat sheet or nothing with them guys. I'm just being honest.
And I said that earlier. I read that said Luka without offense, if he's off, it's no point of him because we already got amazing playmakers like LeBron and stuff like that. So we don't have we need you for your amazing offensive scoring, and that opens up everything. When that doesn't open up everything, we're in trouble. And like I said, Jimmy Butler to be able to score at that will like he was with the Miami Heat. His way of scoring is him with the ball in his hand, driving mid-range. Jimmy Butler is not a catch and shoot guy. There's nothing wrong with needing the ball in your hands, but he is not as effective on the offensive end without the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
And that's something he's not going to get this playoffs, and that's why they're not beating the Lakers, because Jimmy will not be able to affect the game like that.
Yeah, because it kind of sucks because that's like their whole offense. That's Steve Kerr's whole offense, and it's just like, he's trying to find his way through it, And there's a lot of guys, like even just like Luka, that if they're not adding points to the game, then they're pretty much useless. They're not really doing anything. But I feel like guys like Jimmy, and even LeBron, Draymond, they add value in other areas. And Jimmy, I feel like, does that on a consistent basis for the most part. When he's not putting up points, he'll play some good defense. He'll get a couple, nice assists or, just contribute in other ways. But for them to win a matchup like that, he's got to score. He's got to score on top of doing all those other things.
Yep.
And it's just what it all hinders down to.
Yeah. So speaking of got to have it. Let's play a little mini game. Corey, what's going on, man? Welcome. Thank you for joining. First a quick update. I said the Gamecocks are going to win by about 10-15. They're up 61-48 right now in Texas. Just saying. Let's play a little mini game. Why don't we? Right player, wrong time. You cannot say the number one option on any team before we're going to stop at 2000. Okay. So Tracy McGrady, you can't say, right? As an example. Let's change that.
You're talking about like the best number 2 guy?
Yeah, no.
Let's
say that. No, we can do that. We'll change it. So, right player.
I was gonna say my argument was gonna be Tracy McGrady was the number 2 on the Houston.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah, because you can use him as a Rockets. So we'll do right guy, wrong time. Name a player on a non-championship winning team that if you put them on a team today, it would make them by far the favorite for the champion. I'll give you guys all, let's say, 45 seconds apiece. And normally how it goes is everyone gets their turn and then you argue why your team will beat the next person. Now, here is the fun part. On this one, since it's only one, there's no copy-paste. It is once they're gone, they're gone. Okay? So you can't use the same team and you can't use the same player. So, yeah. Does anybody want to start?
The question I have is what team? Like, are they? I say if I said example like Allen Iverson or something. Is it putting him on the 76ers?
No. Look. I'll give you one. Give me Yao Ming on the Lakers. Look, bro. Yao Ming on the Lakers, bro. What are we talking about? I got Luka, bro. Right? So that's easy. That's an easy one. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right? And that's blasphemous, right? Or give me Brandon Roy on the Nuggets. Bro, what? That's all they... Right? So you can get cookie with it a little bit, you know?
I would say... You get little man Isaiah Thomas, put him on the Cavaliers.
2000 and up.
Yeah.
Little left-handed Isaiah Thomas.
Man. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Man. I like that.
Dude, that guy was a beast, man.
All right, 45 seconds on the clock. Go for it.
Oh, man. I mean, he just fits into that offense. I mean, like you said, there's 5 or 6 big men on that roster? You know, hell. That front court is gonna carry the game alone, especially you get a good guard like Isaiah Thomas back there to facilitate and score like he does. I feel like he'd be a great addition to the team, and that team for sure gets a ring. He's always kind of had. I'm not gonna say he's always had subpar teams that he played on, but nowhere near as good as that Cavs team that we got right now. You stick him on that team, they're definitely getting one. I feel like.
You got 15 seconds. You want to do anything else?
Oh, so I don't know what else to say. That's all I got.
See, that's why I do 30 seconds, Matt, because you know what I mean? But we do 45.
Tell you what you say, man.
Because 30 seconds is 40 seconds is 2.
In the past, I said 45 seconds if there was 2 options. Like, say, if you're doing this and this, and you had to explain both. That's why I said 45 seconds for those.
Okay.
For one option, you can do 30 seconds.
All right, well, 30 seconds on the clock.
Like the Bucks right now, and he would do really good. I feel like that's already a better team than what he's played with before.
Time. So your take is prime Isaiah Thomas on the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's an interesting one. Matt?
Yeah. That's the first guy I thought of.
So me?
Yeah, you can go if you want to. Cam, are you there? Or are you going to be lagging now?
I'm here.
Because mine, I don't know if it'll actually work, but mine I think will be just fun to think about. Getting prime Gilbert Arenas on the Pacers.
Ooh.
Just having Tyrese Halliburton and Gilbert be the backcourt duo. And Tyrese, he likes to pass the ball and everything, but have Gilbert Arenas to be that pure just score. I don't know. Now, in all honesty, is it going to give him over the hump to beat the Celtics or something right now? No, I don't think so. But you can just imagine how fun and exciting that team would be. I think that's more of my argument, is just how fun it would see Gilbert Arenas just having the space from Miles Turner and maybe even a little pick and roll game with Pascal Siakam to try to get buckets and just maybe every once in a while a little dump off. That would just be fun.
Yeah. That was a good one. So Gilbert Arenas on the current Pacers and Isaiah Thomas on the current Cavs. Both Eastern Conference teams. Interesting. Cam?
Yes, I'm gonna go with Carmelo Anthony on the Houston Rockets. So something I complained about them earlier is lacking that consistent offensive star. Um, Carmelo is a consistent offensive star who lacked defense, with a great or good defensive team around him and a great coach like Amuke or Duke, however you say it. I feel like that gets them over that hump or gets them where they need, because you have dudes who have the ability to score like Jalen Green and Sangoon. But when you get one of the best scorers ever to touch the ball, and then a Sagoon down low, and then a Jalen Green exploding from up top, and then guys who could sit in the corner like
Time.
Jr. and Dylan Brooks.
Shit.
Going in depth there, Cam.
All right. So first matchup, I like how you did that, because now I gotta call you out. First matchup, we have Isaiah Thomas and the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Carmelo Anthony Rockets. You want ball first, or you want ball last? Drew.
Oh man, you got it, Cam. What you got, man?
Ooh.
What you got, bro?
It's me versus who? Who did you say again?
The Cavs,
I
Isaiah
also
Thomas.
want to chip in real quick.
Oh, go ahead, Derek.
I don't know the game.
Oh yeah,
but
he's in.
I think prime Derrick Rose on some cool team right now. I don't know.
Find a team for him. That's a good one. That's such a good one.
That's a good one, yeah.
That's the first guy I thought of too.
I don't know, like the Warriors or something like.
No, they have Steph Curry.
No. He got, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, they already got a guard. You would have to pick a team that needs a guard.
Yeah.
He's a
hit Google up real quick. Hit ChatGPT.
Look, the equivalent to his team right now in today's NBA, which you would want him to have more since he didn't win, is the Pistons now, even though they got a guard. If he was on a team like that who got defensive,
Derrick Rose and the Orlando Magic would be insanity.
Whoa, that'd be good.
Yeah.
How do you use Franz then?
Franz is the third option. You got Paulo and Derrick Rose. Yeah. What are we talking about? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Woo!
I was just thinking, your usage percentage is crazy. How like Paulo shoots like 21, 22 plus shots, and Franz shoots like 22 plus shots. So
yeah.
Okay, but me versus Isaiah Thomas versus
load up
in the Cavs now.
Yep, load up. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. All right.
First of all, how many games does it take to win, and why? 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so this is a 5-game series. Just because Isaiah Thomas was good, but never consistent. And the Cavs right now, all he does, he was not much better than Darius Garland. So that doesn't make them get a huge leap. Compared to Carmelo Anthony in the Houston Rockets right now, it's a totally different ballgame. We added Carmelo to the Rockets, who are number 2 seed, a Hall of Famer versus Isaiah Thomas, who's not a Hall of Famer, to the Cavs. So that's it right there. We have defense to match your defense. We have more offense to match your offensive threats to beat your offense. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can really do to us. We got defense, offense, and a better coach.
I mean, dude, the Rockets are a solid squad. They're going to be hard to beat, especially even if you add Carmelo. I just feel like he adds that Isaiah Thomas just adds that, fast pace to the game. You know what I'm saying? That he's always kind of been just a real fast-paced player, and just his facilitating ability. And don't get me wrong, Garland, I mean, his facilitating ability is crazy, but I mean, I used to watch Isaiah back in the day, and I'm just mesmerized by some of the passes he's made. I feel like his passing ability is crazy good, and his mid-range game is crazy. I just feel like there's really not a lot of people who can really just like match up on him and guard him like that, especially if we have Donovan Mitchell back there with him, as a second option. I feel like that backcourt is just way too deadly. Isaiah's just got a really good scoring ability as well. On top of having all those big guys in the paint, having to worry about those guys. I mean, how are you going to finish in the paint effectively?
Time.
Oh, there you go. That's time.
You said how many games?
I'd probably say 5 or 6. I could even see it going 7, honestly. I would say 6. I would say Cavs in 6.
Yeah. Matt, who you want?
Ooh. Who would I rather play, or who do I think will win?
Nah, who do you want to play right now?
Yeah, it definitely will be me.
I probably rather would play the Cavs.
All right, go for it.
I mean, I get how exciting Isaiah Thomas is. I really do, but we cannot act like he's just not a 5'9" point guard.
Oh no, yeah, no, 100%.
And then with him and Darius Garland, I'll take that matchup every day, especially whichever one you want Tyrese on. Okay, well you can't put Isaiah Thomas on, and that's a size mismatch. Gilbert Arenas, that's just a dog. And that's why I think where Gilbert Arenas will help the Pacers so much is just the aspect of the Pacers are an overall good team, but they had just that dog score. I think they could put them over the top. Where at the facilitator who can play a little bit of defense, one of the best defensive centers in the game, of just go to overall defensive team, and just get a guy who can average 25 to 30.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's better than that Cavs team. I just personally do, and I think that Rockets team.
Rebuttal.
I mean, I feel like both of our teams, I feel like are really good defensive teams. I just want to say that right now. Like, both of them are. They protect the rim very well. And Isaiah Thomas is going to be a mismatch on anybody. He's 5'9". Everybody's going to be a mismatch for him. But it's just the offensive ability that he kind of, and the pace that he brings. I feel like he just brings it more than Garland does. Like, you take prime Isaiah Thomas, I feel like he just had way more aura than Garland has. And if you bring that, and you have Donovan Mitchell back there, I feel like that's going to be very, very hard to stop. Defensively, okay, you might have a little bit of lack on the perimeter, but you make up for it, with the front court, and the scoring ability. So I feel like it'd be a lot more interesting matchup than you think. They.
Well, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, no, yeah. It would definitely be. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Derek, do you have one? If not, then I'm just going to jump in with one. So we have 4 teams. All right.
No, I don't.
All right, I'll jump in. Look, give me Ben Wallace on the Phoenix Suns. Bro, what are we talking about right now? You got Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Ben Wallace. Yeah. And I was thinking between him and Dwight Howard, but good God. Look, hey, you give me wait, Ben Wallace won, right? Never mind. Give me Dwight Howard. Give me Dwight Howard on the.
Technically, Dwight Howard won a ring too.
No, you can't switch it up now. You went with Ben.
That's the thing.
Did Dwight win with the Lakers? Did he win with the Lakers? Was he on that Lakers?
Harrison, can I give you one? Since Dwight won with the
Yeah, I guess
Lakers
so.
well?
Go for it.
Prime Boogie Cousins.
Oh, give it. Oh. Yeah, wait. Let me reprimand. Let me reprimand what I was going to say. My apologies.
The Warriors or the Lakers.
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on. Let me sauce it up real quick. Let me think for a second.
Jason got to reevaluate his life now.
I do.
Talking about?
I do. Look.
Or even Hibbert. I them.
No, I forgot about that guy though, Cousins.
Boogie Cousins can do it. Yeah, I'll probably still take Boogie Cousins on the. Ooh, no. They need defense.
Suns?
You know what?
I like that
Put him on the Lakers.
one.
Right? That's boring though. I don't want to put him on the Lakers. That's right, but that's
too OP. That's too OP. It's too OP.
You know what? I would do Boogie Cousins on the I would do Boogie Cousins on the Clippers. Look, you could put him at the 4 with Edie and do the 2-man like Anthony Davis and him did, or you could have him at the 5. Yeah. Don't give me that face.
For who? The Clippers or the Grizzlies?
No, the Clippers.
Clippers.
Not Edie.
I thought you said Edie.
Nah, I didn't mean Edie. I mean Zubac. Thank you. Look, him and Zubac, the 2-man. Oh my gosh! Look, that would be insane. Because look, I thought about that too. Him at the 4, it was but look, one of them, it don't matter. It's 5-5. Look, you got a point guard, you got Kawhi, you got James, and you got 2 5s out there. Call it a day.
Fuck it, we're making that double center.
Hey, call it. We calling it. We spamming it. One of them off the court at all times. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that. Yeah. I'll do that.
I like that. I like that. It's not bad.
Interesting lineup. Matt and Cam, go for it.
Who did Matt have again?
I have Gilbert Arenas on the Pacers.
Yeah. The Gilbert Arenas, great talent. We're talking playoffs. I got me winning in 5 again. Just because the Pacers will have great defense, which will help Gilbert Arenas. But we're talking about playoff Gilbert Arenas, somebody who averaged only 17 points in the playoffs. Just because you change the era that he's in, doesn't change who the person is and who Gilbert Arenas is, and Gilbert Arenas is Gilbert Arenas. So that right there, he's a great regular season guy. Never was a good playoff person. Always choked. And then on top of that, like I said, we have Carmelo Anthony, a young core we can beat you down low, we can beat you at the 3-point line, and we can kill you mid range, which is missing in a lot of these teams' game. Pacers are a great team with a great coach, nice pace. We still have the better coach, better defense, and better offensive weapons. So, yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, you cooked with the numbers. I think Matt's gonna come right back with Carmelo's, but Matt, rebuttal.
Oh yeah, guys, you need to tell me because I'm pretty damn positive. We're talking about Agent Zero. Wasn't he on? If you're talking about playoff upset, like playoff and everything, wasn't he on that Warriors team that upset the Mavericks in one of the greatest upset series of all time?
The Dream Team.
Yeah, we're talking about that same.
The Believe team. Yeah. Yep.
So, what makes that Rockets team, even with Carmelo, that much better? Acting like Carmelo's just this playoff superstar. I mean, he's lost. Like, when has he beat LeBron in the playoffs? Never. I know who beat LeBron in the finals because my guy beat Dirk in the first round on his MVP year. So you're talking about a guy who could be potential upset for you because, again, just dog. And just a team talent. You're adding a score. I'm adding a dog. There's a difference with that.
Oh, yeah, I've won that for sure. Gilbert Arenas can't be a dog with 17 points per game in his playoffs. He also, just like he upset the Mavs, he also got upset and lost to a LeBron team where he had Antoine Jameson himself and a better roster. Carmelo's not the best known for his playoffs, but you can't say Gilbert Arenas is a dog. Carmelo's a Hall of Famer. He averaged more points than both of these guys are just pure scorers, honestly. He averaged more points than your guy Agent Zero in the playoffs. So I don't know what makes Gilbert Arenas a dog. 31 playoff games in his career, and he averages 17 points. That is disgusting. That's an average guy. That's why he.
Look, man. Tracy
to career, but if you look at the small span, that's a different story.
Tracy McGrady on the Knicks would be pretty interesting.
I know that would have been. Yeah, you know what I was thinking about just randomly? Like, because I like Carmelo with the Rockets, like Cam said, but I was thinking about Steve Nash with the Rockets.
Nah, they already got Fred VanVleet and stuff, though.
I know.
Yeah, but if you take out Fred, facts. I feel like they would grow those. Steve Nash would help those players grow better than Fred VanVleet.
But I think Steve Nash brings them more as a team.
Yeah, and that as well.
Steve Nash got a ring,
you know how like. Huh?
No. He doesn't.
Oh yeah, he don't.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
So I could have said Amari Stoudemire.
That
Damn.
would
That would have been.
Oh,
I'm not
That
gonna lie.
would've been crazy.
I think you could have did better with the Boogie Cousins.
Look, I
If you
said
wasn't
Ben
a
Wallace,
hater.
and it got thrown out. Okay, it was Ben Wallace who was gonna do it.
Yeah,
Look,
you-
Ben Wallace on the
That's
Suns would have
great,
been
bro.
crazy.
I really wanted to think of one for Grant Hill. I just couldn't think of one too quick.
Who said Boogie Cousins again?
Ice.
I think
Yeah,
that
I
was
said
Matt,
Boogie
no?
Cousins.
Yeah, that would have Grayson. I know you hate boy, but if you would have put Boogie Cousins with the current Lakers now,
that's a hoop. No, that's hoop. Look,
Jesus,
I
have mercy.
That's
on
the
my
only
Lord.
reason
That's
why I
a
troll the
repeat
way I
right
do is because
Bro, I
you're a
would
Lakers
like-
fan.
Well, LeBron, because you're
Yeah.
a true Lakers fan.
Yeah,
I'm
of
a
course
LeBron
I am.
fan.
Well, I like purple and
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but him with that first one he said with Yao Ming on the Lakers, that would have been disgusting. That was the best one.
Oh, of course, but
I don't
that's
think
kind
Yao
of
Ming is
boring.
Better than Boogie Cousins though. Boogie
Nah, but
Cousins
with the
can play
Lakers
that
system-
and score.
Boogie Cousins.
Look what how y'all going stupid. They would have thought y'all was Wimbenyama or something.
Facts, but Luka, no, but do y'all know how y'all remember how athletic and good Boogie Cousins was?
Oh no, Boogie was
with
sticky.
Giannis would be,
Boogie was sticky.
that would be nasty, and then also he
He's
could
that guy.
dribble. He could dribble and create his own,
Yeah.
but he would never have to in the
But
offense.
I'm talking
And
about
then he can
Yao
shoot.
Ming with a pick and roll. Oh my goodness.
But a Boogie pick and roll, a guy who's faster and more
Boogie
athletic,
just
not
gonna
as
throw it up,
tall.
and Yao Ming's just gonna be right there.
Yeah, true. Boogie is too. He's 7 foot plus. They're both going to be right there. But I feel what you're saying. But he can also spread out the floor too. He can shoot threes, not at a crazy rate, but at least a Jokic rate. And he
But the
can
thing
play
with
make a
Boogie
little
though
bit.
is he wants the ball in his hand more.
Yeah.
Yeah, he want that ball,
Like,
and he gonna tear the whole team
apart.
apart to get that ball too. He gonna have some attitude.
Oh yeah. He'll fight.
Oh
He'll
man,
fight Bron for that ball.
He's gonna get ejected with too technical before that even happens.
yeah, I don't even speak English. I mean, he speak basketball. You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, look, y'all, look, that's a great argument because, look, like I said, Gilbert Arenas is still Gilbert Arenas, so that's the same for Boogie Cousins.
Let's put Boogie Cousins on the Pistons. That would be mean.
Oh, that team would literally get kicked out the NBA. Him and Stu would literally get the Pistons and their organization.
I was trying to put Tony Allen somewhere.
Oh my God!
I was trying to put him
He's
somewhere.
not
I was like,
terrible
I
on
don't know.
offense.
It's just his offense will be the only thing that hurts.
Right?
Tony Allen's not bad on offense though.
Nah, but like generational. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different generation.
Yeah, I feel you.
I don't know.
Who would have been another good one? I just like thinking of this. Peja Stojakovic somewhere.
Shooter.
Yeah, sniper.
What player right
Vince
now?
Carter.
You want to do the reverse? You want to do the reverse, Cam?
I was gonna ask you what player right now could change a weak team, like make a weak team a playoff team.
Okay, wait, because I think you're. Give an example first, and then say what you're saying.
Huh?
Give an example, and then say what you're gonna say, because that can be confusing.
Okay, my bad. So a team that's on the gust of being a playoff team or a contender. So the Kings, what player would make the Kings roster stick right now with those type of talents? And
you said a current player?
Timberwolves. Yeah, like what? No, what from 2000 and up, like you did.
Okay. All right, round two. You from 7 down. So Minnesota, Clippers, Dallas, Sacramento, Orlando.
Sorry, I was going to say you have to disqualify some teams like the Spurs or disqualification.
Why? They're 32 and 44.
We could have Yama. Like if they weren't like we could easily say, oh yeah, throw this star and they'll be a much better team. No, they were just injured.
Okay, so
we talking about
injuries or no injuries?
I'm more interested in teams like the Kings, the Trailblazers.
Okay, well then you argue the Trailblazers.
I know who I'm gonna argue.
On paper, the Mavericks aren't that bad of a team, but everyone's fucking injured.
Right.
You
So
know,
this is really a test.
Like he said, Ben Wallace. Like the Suns are amazing on paper already. If you have Ben Wallace, that don't automatically mean they're gonna work. Like,
nah, that would work. That would absolutely work. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Dude, what are we talking about, bro? Ben Wallace on the Suns, they would win 65 games, dude. What are we talking
Because you
about?
don't answer their scoring, just their defense, and they struggle.
That's
everywhere.
all they need. They can't
that's
stop
one
a
player.
nosebleed. They can't stop a nosebleed. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go with your predicament. And the team that you choose is a test of your own ball knowledge. So you can't go anywhere above 7. So Minnesota is the line in the West. Orlando is the line in the East. Grab a team from 7 down on either side and a player from 2,000 and up that will make that team a contender. No repeats.
Okay.
So Isaiah Thomas is off the board.
Injuries or no injuries? Are we talking about injuries right
clean
now?
roster,
Like
clean
everything as it
roster,
is?
clean roster, clean roster.
Clean
No
roster?
injuries.
Okay.
So Isaiah Thomas is
Yeah.
off the board. Gilbert Arenas is off the board. Carmelo Anthony is off the board. Yao Ming is off the board. And DeMarcus Cousins is off the board. Open. You went first, Drew, so you're gonna go last this time. Cam, you went last time, so you're gonna go first this time.
I'll say
Okay.
Or you switch it.
It's
You wanna go
Cam,
first, Matt?
it's Cam, then Matt, then you. Oh, you want to go first, Matt? You can elect to go first. Go for it.
No. I'm still thinking between a couple. I was
Derek.
just making sure.
Okay, Cam.
Oh man, this is hard. Okay. Somebody that I know. I got my current team. I'm trying to think of a player without over.
I'm starting the
Doing
clock
it.
in
Okay.
5, 4.
I'm
3.
gonna go Steve Nash on the New Orleans. I mean, not on the New Orleans, but on the Raptors. So I know you're like, oh, what? But yeah, I'm gonna go Steve Nash on the Raptors, the guy who opens up the floor, creates for other and can also score. And you surround him with guys that with a non-injured roster like Brandon Ingram, R.J. Barrett, Scotty Barnes. And then you also even got your 6 and 7 option who can put up 20 and 30 points like Grady Dick. And then you have guys who are just all defenders. All these guys are long and they're all young. You got Jacob Patel as your 7-footer low. And the rest of your guys have wingspans at 7'7" plus. If you have Steve Nash anchoring it all, you have shooters, you have mid-range guys, you have defensive guys. That roster would make them at least a top 5 or top 6 seed.
Time. Not bad. Steve Nash and the Raptors is not bad at all. I think all they're missing is a facilitator. They got Scotty. They got Brandon Ingram. They got yeah.
Who'd you say, Cam? Who'd you say?
Steve Nash on the
Steve Nash.
Toronto Raptors. So Toronto Raptors
yeah.
are gone, and so is Steve Nash. Matthew.
Man, this is so tough. My team, I'm doing the Charlotte Hornets. Now, who do I want to be that piece? That's who I'm trying to figure out. But if I have to choose one person, I'm gonna go with. Screw it. I'm gonna go with Grant Hill. Because I think he'll provide that offense and defense compared to some of the other options I was thinking to help. Just to help. And I think he can play a little bit less ball dominant compared with LaMelo. Where LaMelo, they can work some slashing games. Grant Hill can be a pick and roll threat. You might have to trade him Miles Bridges. I don't know. That's the only matching issue I see. But they'll be one of the fun teams. But overall, Grant Hill brings such a defensive presence on the perimeter. It'll be interesting.
All right, Drew. Grant Hill and the Hornets.
Grant Hill, huh?
And then Steve Nash on the Raptors. 2 Eastern Conference teams again. Drew.
All right. Assuming I got everybody healthy, I'm gonna go ahead and replace Luka on the Mavericks with Reggie Miller.
Ooh.
I think that might be a crazy ass team. Assuming everybody's healthy. Him and Kyrie in the backcourt, that's just deadly as it is. I mean, Kyrie being the scorer he is, Reggie being the scorer that he is, that's already buckets for everybody. Anthony Davis, handling things down low as well as Lively and Gafford. I mean, our paint defense is set. and still having PJ, at that small forward role, handling things on defense and, hitting his open shots. I mean, I feel like that's a really deadly team to contend with. I don't really have any more to say about that.
Nice.
But yeah, Reggie Miller on the Mavericks.
Time. Very nice. Okay.
I got some solid picks, man. Y'all got some solid picks. That's a
look.
Where the hell's that dog?
Give me Dwight Howard on the Philadelphia 76ers. Look, man. I'm trolling.
No, I was like, bro, what?
Hey, put
You putting him at the 4-2? What are you doing there? What you finna do, man? Say how you feel.
Yeah. I'm a Twin Towers kind of guy, man. Smash.
Yeah.
Back to the basket, man. Back to the basket. Nah.
The rim's gonna be broken at the end of the game.
But yeah, that's a good little round. So we're gonna post both. We're gonna post both of those on our Instagram and our TikTok and get some voting going. Speaking of, so in our right.
That's a quick question.
Yeah.
No, because I wanted to hear y'all's opinions. Because again, I was stuck with my pick because I had no idea between like 4 people. Of who do y'all think would have been the better pick? I picked Grant Hill. My other options were
for the Hornets.
Charlotte Hornets. My other options.
So
were
we're talking about like a shooting guard or a small forward need right there, maybe.
Or even like here's what I was thinking between Grant Hill, which is who I chose, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, or Marty Stoudemire, or actually one more, Chris Webber.
Vince Carter won with the Mavericks.
No, he never won.
Vince Carter won with the Mavericks. He wasn't a part of that match?
No, he wasn't part of that team.
No.
No.
Damn, he wasn't. Vince Carter.
Yeah. Vince Carter would be a hell of a good matchup on that team.
I was just thinking because Grant Hill provided.
I probably would have took McGrady.
Yeah.
I probably would have took McGrady.
I probably would have took McGrady on that team.
Yeah.
Just go score.
But I was thinking like Brandon Miller, he could shoot as well, and I like putting him at shooting guard, as a tall shooting guard.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, Grant Hill, because he could be a slashing defensive forward.
Yeah. But Tracy McGrady, he's that 6'9", just all around, he's giving you problems, even Kobe said that shit, Kobe said, nah, I can never figure that
out. I just wanted to throw that out there and see what y'all would have thought.
Yeah. Grant Hill's still a good pick, though. That's a solid pick.
So, going over our last couple of games that we played, we had a couple of voting systems, and we're just going to go over the winners really quick. First, we played a 3-on-3 draft your 3 to fight. In one corner, it was Draymond Green, Beef Stew, Russell Westbrook. In one corner, it was LaMelo, LeBron, and Giannis. In one corner, it was Clint Capella, Marcus Smart, and Jay, the fighter in Pacers. And in the other corner, we had Amin, Steven Adams, and Jokic. Now, check this out. Second place, let's go last place. Last place was Draymond Green, Isaiah Stewart, and Russell Westbrook. They got last. Second place was Giannis, LeBron, and LaMelo. Third place was LeBron, Giannis, and LaMelo. Second place was Jay Johnson, Capella, and Marcus Smart. And the winner was who the fans thought would win in the best of fighting was Jokic, Amin, and Steven Adams. Man, hey, we appreciate everybody for voting, man. I'll take that dub. Thank you. I appreciate y'all, man. That was a good one. Going to our next game, we had rank your blind quarterback drafts, and that's a lot to read, but I'll give you the synopsis. Last place was Dom with 0. Cam, you came in third. Hood, you came in second, and Matthew, number 1. Congratulations, you won that one, man. Good job, man. I appreciate everybody for participating.
They all had like Patrick Mahomes at 10 or something.
Mahomes was 10 on Cam and Dom's list, and Hood had Aikman. Man, oh, he had Vic second.
What was this list, you guys?
Oh,
We
this one was
we
the
ranked blindly.
this
It
was
blindly.
ranked the blind
Yeah, we didn't
quarterbacks.
know who was next.
Yeah, this was this. I'm gonna tell you the 10
We
quarterbacks.
placed them 1 through 10.
I'm gonna tell you the quarterbacks, and then I'm gonna say Matt's list because he won. So the quarterbacks was Troy Aikman.
Okay, well, real quick. Sorry, just to let Andrew know. But the theme was not who's the greatest. It was if you were restarting a team and drafting them as a rookie. So like,
So
that was
like, who
pretty
would
much
you want?
the-
Like,
Right.
who would you want type shit?
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
So the quarterbacks were Troy Aikman, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Montana, Mahomes, Steve Young, Michael Vick, Tom Brady, and Cam Newton. But the order was random on how they were coming out. So Matt's order
Right.
finished up being Mahomes, Manning, Rodgers, Brady, Montana, Jackson, Young, Aikman, Newton, Vick. That was Matt, and he won.
Wow.
And just a heads up, I did put Brady at 4. I did. It wasn't that was the one spot left. I put him at.
Yeah, you put him at 4. Yeah, there was plenty available.
Who was above those guys?
We'll go back.
Who's top
Actually,
three? Who's top three?
drafting as a prospect. Well, Peyton Manning. If I knew Peyton Manning was coming, I would have swapped him and Brady for sure. Honestly, I would put Drew Brees up there if he was.
Well, y'all had
Okay.
it was a pick one. It was 1, 2, or 3, and I said I picked a number. They picked a number, and I said, okay, Marino and
Okay.
Drew Brees are gone. Peyton Manning is the next quarterback.
Gotcha.
But the quarterbacks he had above Brady was Mahomes, Manning, and Rodgers. And our last voting, yeah, our last voting one, we did a 7-on-7 Build-A-Bear flag football draft, and that was a start bench cut with a couple of swaps. So, out of our teams, Team 1 had Ashton Gentry, Jamar Chase, Bobby Wagner, and a couple other people. I mean, I can go through everybody. Travis Kelce, Minka, Jalen Williams, Marlon Humphreys, Patrick Surtain, Derrick Henry, and Joe Burrow. That was Team 1. Team 2 had Dallas Goedert, the rookie McMillan, Fred Warner, Q, the cornerback, Quinyon Mitchell, Tyreek Hill, Saquon, Lamar Jackson, Kyle Hamilton, Jesse Bates, and Sauce Gardner. Team 3 had Josh Allen, Travis Hunter, Jamar Gibbs, Justin Jefferson, Zach Bond, Derwin James, Darius Slay, Winfield, Stingley, and Brock Bowers. This one was interesting. Joe Burrow and them got last place with only a couple of votes. This one got a lot of votes. Team 2 came in second, and that was a way big margin between Team 1 and Team 2. And Team 3 won it all. So congratulations to Travis. That was Cam. That was Cam's team, right? Congratulations, Cam.
But
Yep.
All I'm saying is the fans weren't there to see the group message where I drew up my defense that I was going to run it, and I think that would have been a good defense. I won't say stop them because you can't stop that offense. That was a great offense, but to help make it difficult and hope Josh Allen just gives me a few freebies.
Well, look, man, you had a chance to argue your take in the pod, and you did. You argued it good, and
Yeah.
live with the results.
They just see the star power. I understand. They don't look at the coaching behind the. It's okay.
Yeah. So, transitioning the last, I guess, let's do 15 minutes, and then everybody can get their time to talk, and we'll get out of here. Joe Milton to the Cowboys. What do you think?
I mean, it's going to be interesting. I don't think this is a whole thing of Joe Milton is the future of the Cowboys. But it's one of those, it's just like, why not? Like, okay, Trey Lance didn't work, but I think we all kind of seen Trey Lance as kind of a bust. He should have not been drafted that high. It was just his ability that everyone just looked at. But Joe Milton, it's the same thing. It's ability. But at least you saw, even if it's just one game, you saw something. Now, I'm not going to sit here and run away with one game saying he's the future Dallas Cowboy quarterback for the next 10 years because Matt Flynn had one great game and got a huge contract from Seattle. and that didn't work out at all. So I think it's nice to have another backup, especially since oh crap, what's his name? Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush is in
I
Baltimore.
think in Baltimore now.
Baltimore.
Yeah. So, so it's nice to have a backup and everything. See if he could develop, learn that behind Dak for a year. If he works out, awesome. If he doesn't, then hey, we'll see what we could get in the draft. Because right now we're at a point where we have to think about: are we competing or are we trying to rebuild a little bit and let the Eagles and maybe even Commanders right now just enjoy their time a little?
Drew, you said you're a Cowboys fan?
I have no idea who fucking Milton is though.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he's
I don't really dabble in college. I don't watch the draft. I don't do any of that.
Yeah, I got
That's
you.
all,
He,
I'll sit here and listen though, man. I'm with it though.
Yeah, so he backup quarterback for the Patriots, played in Tennessee before that. Pretty decent, good arm, strong arm. Kind of lacks the film in the next level, the big level, but definitely potential. But in terms of the Cowboys, and Dakota Prescott, in what you have seen the past couple of years, going into next year, where do you have Dakota? If you could rank him amongst quarterbacks, maybe.
I mean, I would say he's a top 10. Don't get me wrong. I mean, probably. I don't know, man. It's just he's so inconsistent, man. It's just like he's a good player. He's athletic. You know, he's got a good arm on him. You know, I mean, dude, just like he plays like a pussy, man. Like he makes bad decisions. You know, I feel like he's not the smartest quarterback. I feel like, you know, not like, you know, like maybe like a quarterback like Brady or, you know, Manning. I feel like he doesn't have that type of like IQ, you know, and I can see it in him. I mean, he's just out there slinging the rock, man, you know, and he doesn't even make good passes half the time. Yeah, he'll have his breakout games, you know, he'll have a game where he throws for 300-400 yards, you know, maybe even 500. But I mean, I would still say he's a solid, viable quarterback, you know. I mean, I don't think he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's not a playoff winning quarterback, obviously. I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of him personally. I mean, I was at first, but like after seeing that he really hasn't like done shit, you know. I mean, yeah, I'm just not a fan, man. That's just what I stand on that.
Matt?
I mean, I look at Dak Prescott as a middle of the pack quarterback. My definition of middle of the pack is at most 12th best quarterback in the NFL, to at the worst being the 20th best quarterback. Yeah. He is somewhere within there because there's people around him where you could be like, you know what, that could go either way, or you might have Dak over this person, or someone like Jordan Love, or you might just prefer Jordan Love just a little bit. I can see either way. My opinion is different from others, so that's fine. But at the end of the day, again, he could get you to the playoffs. Will he win the playoffs? No.
And you know, that's why. Yeah. That's why I said he was like top 10. You know, because like sometimes he does have those games where, you know, he plays like a top 3. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like.
But here's the thing with that. Even at top 10, you're talking about either two people, like pretty much 2 or 3 different categories. You have the Super Bowl contending quarterbacks, or you got the ones that are just like, hey, they had just a better roster, or maybe on another team. It could be dangerous. If that goes to another team, I can't see him changing the team to make it a Super Bowl contender. But
yeah,
that'll be a fun playoff team, maybe. Again, here's where I see that. Against the best quarterbacks, he'll lose. Against the worst quarterbacks, he'll look like an all-pro.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, straight up. I mean, and you know, everything that's happened this last year. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna say it's totally on him. I mean, our defense folded. Our defense straight folded. They just stopped playing. You know, nobody.
Injuries and everything.
Yeah, and that too.
Again, you can't just say injuries ruined us, because you can say that with many teams.
Yeah.
San Francisco, sheesh.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, Dak, I agree with that statement. He's middle of the pack. You know, I mean, he gets the job done. You know, but he's not doing it at a very high level like some of these other guys. You know,
I will say this is probably his last last year, or maybe second to last year as a Dallas Cowboy.
I mean, yeah. So that contract he just got, that was for what, 5? That was for 5 years? 4 years?
I think 4 or 5 years.
So yeah, so next year would be his last year. Or no, he would have 2 more years left.
He can get moved.
I think.
You think they might cut it out?
Well, he has a no trade clause, so it's like Dak's going to have to prove it. But I think it's going to get to a point where it's like, Dak, you're not the guy. We're going to try to build something here with someone new. We appreciate you. Now either you get traded and play somewhere, or you can be on our bench.
Yeah, Joe's cheap. Joe's cheap, so they can do that.
Yeah. I mean, either way, he doesn't give a fuck. He's getting like what, over 200 mil guaranteed. So
Nah, he cares. He wants to play.
yeah, he don't give a fuck. Yeah, he don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Does he really?
Yeah, I think
Like,
so.
because
He does.
I don't know.
Competitive.
I would say he's competitive. It's just I just feel like he just makes bad decisions whenever he is like out in the thick of it, and like, you know, because I mean, as a quarterback, you know, everybody leans on you. You're the leader of the team, man. You know, and I feel like he's just not that guy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just not getting that vibe up of him, bro. He's not a winner. He's not a winner. He'll beat the worst teams. He's not a winner though.
Yeah. I mean, like if you legit look at like the top quarterbacks, like if you look at any quarterbacks around or above him, they're all either first or second round picks, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I have to think of every single quarterback, because there might be an exception, like maybe a third or fourth round pick somewhere. But
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, if I'm correct, he was a fourth round pick.
Yeah.
Like, I get that. Oh, he's not the strongest arm and all this, but for a fourth round pick, he's had a pretty hell of a career.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, dude, over $200 million guaranteed
He's
contract.
the middle of the pack quarterback. That's just a fact of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know.
Was there one he was a top 10 quarterback? Yeah, I believe he was a top 10 quarterback a few years ago.
He was a top 3.
I guess he's in the middle of the pack.
He was
I
a top
can't say
3
top
quarterback
3.
at one point. I would say, damn near.
I can't say top 3.
Hell, that what was it? I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago when I think that was when we lost to Green Bay. We had a hell of a season. It was like what, we went 13-3. This season was crazy.
And it wasn't because Dak was just the best quarterback.
Our defense was kind of cracked though. Our defense was kind of cracked. Yeah, our defense was pretty cracked. But dude, he was putting up crazy numbers though. He had one of the better QB ratings, no? That year.
Yeah, he did.
Well, but
he was top 10 QBR.
Yeah, I'm about to say like that
might have been top 5.
He was better than Jackson. Well, I think Brady was still in the NFL. He wasn't better than Brady.
Oh no, hell no. I mean, as long as Brady's playing now, yeah. But no, he's out. But no, I mean, yeah, I'd say top 5 for sure during that time.
Speaking of top 5, Colorado had their pro day today. A lot of TikTok routes from Travis Hunter. Obviously showed some explosion with his feet, but he was really telepathical with his hands. I'm not hating. I'm just saying how it looks. Shador looked good. I think it was a statement that Travis Hunter went out there without gloves. And I also think it was a statement that Shador threw to everyone and not just Travis. Like, he was throwing all type of routes, short routes, lean routes, back shoulder routes, over the top balls. I did notice something that I didn't notice when he played with pads on. He smacks the ball every time before he goes to release it. And a couple quarterbacks do that, but one quarterback in particular that used to do that all the time. And I think we know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, Matt?
I think so. Say the name.
Tom Brady. Shador learned a lot of his game from Tom. And one thing that Tom was patented knowing to do before he threw the ball was smacking the ball before releasing it. You look at how Shador was throwing the ball today, and it really didn't have that much zip or mustard on it, but the ball was getting exactly where it needed to go. The receivers were making a lot of effort to go out of their frame to get the ball. It looked pretty good, if you ask me. Looking at
when you do that, that's you typing in the GPS coordinates on the ball.
Yeah.
That's exactly where it needs to go.
Yeah, pretty much. You're looking at the draft picks, what's going on, and how Tennessee was kind of having a small conversation with Travis Hunter today. It might look like Shador falls. If you're the Raiders, do you scoop him? If you're the Saints, do you get him? Because he's not the most mobile quarterback that Kellen Moore likes to coach and prefers to coach, what it seems. What's the plan with that?
I mean,
He's talking to you, Matt.
I think when we look at Shador Sanders, like, I forgot if we said this on the podcast or if we said this in just guy talk or group message or something. But I think it was you, Grayson, brought up the comparison of Andy Dalton.
Yeah, that's what I
It's a
saw.
pretty damn accurate comparison. Someone who's accurate with the football, doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, he can run, but he's not the fastest. But he has good pocket presence. And I think that's his ceiling. I think that's a great comparison for him. Someone who could be a Pro Bowl quarterback. I can't see him competing with Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, and that level. Like, I think if he's going to be around a range, potentially at his peak is the Justin Herbert range. But if I can see him falling a little bit, I don't think he's a top 3 pick. I think a lot more teams that we're going to see are going to be interested in next year's draft.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be I think this year is going to be specifically big on building your team around than getting that Archie Manning or somebody. So I think that's where it's going to be pretty big. So, like, I can see a team like New York getting Travis Hunter. I can see, right now I'm thinking like Cleveland's going to probably get Abdul Carter. Yeah. Because I just think they want to pair Myles Garrett up with someone who else can get to the quarterback and just make it that defensive line great.
A Baltimore stopper.
No.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking. So here's something right now. I'm sorry, just talking about Cleveland and
Go for it.
I was thinking the other day, and I know it'll be hard with Lundy because of Deshaun Watson's contract, but since he's injured and you don't have Jameis, I was thinking about Aaron Rodgers potentially going to Cleveland. That'd be ugly, but
they don't got offensive line.
That could be an interesting. I'm sorry.
One thing Aaron Rodgers ain't going somewhere without offensive line. He over that part of his career.
Yeah.
Look, Cleveland.
It's just
Cleveland can make a backdoor trade for Kirk Cousins and draft Jalen Milroe.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think Jalen Milroe will be so fun in Cleveland. Yeah.
Or do you think Cleveland trades up later in the draft for Jackson Dart?
Not worth it.
Yeah.
You got to trade another first round pick for Jackson. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Probably not a first if he's the back half of the first, but probably a second at least.
He's gonna be gone.
Yeah, I don't. Mm-hmm. But I can't see Shador just. In my eyes, when I look at the best prospects, I don't see him as a top 5, top 10 best prospect.
He knows ball and can spin it well. See the field, but it's just.
Oh yeah, he can.
The truth is right there in front of your face. You know.
And like, if I'm just being honest, I'd rather get an Ashton Genty over Shador Sanders, knowing that next year I could potentially get a more generational quarterback.
But listen, we said the same thing about the GOAT, the arguable GOAT. If Tom Brady was coming out of college right now, boy, oh boy, would he not be going first round? He wouldn't. And people would be saying worse things about him than anything they said about Shador. And look what he turned out to be.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's for sure guaranteed. And I'm not. And when I say this, like, look, okay, let's be honest here. Let's start with this. Tom Brady, if he was in this draft and without knowing his MVPs, his Super Bowls, and all that, I'm being completely honest. He probably would have been a second or third round pick at most. I don't see him as a first round pick, just as a true quarterback. Yep. That's why he went 7th round. I think he would have had a better college career with especially this new day and age, but it's just that, like, he wasn't, like, let's not act like he was just like some off the field, like a Randy Moss issue. No. Or that's how he slid. But Shador Sanders, like, the one thing he has that helps him compared to everybody else in this draft is his connections. Because Dion is for sure, like, he's going to have the best type of coaching and all that. The only issue is, I don't I hope I wouldn't see this. But Shador Sanders, could he be a locker room problem?
Well, we
I
won't
think he'll
know.
be a great leader, but I don't know if his ego will be, well, not ego, I should say, but if his name will be too big.
If I'm the Titans, I'm not getting Cam Ward.
Honestly,
The Titans, you have so many
like
issues.
Cam.
Yeah, Cam's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You have so many issues. I'm trading down, and I'm going. If I can find a way to get 2 first rounds or a first, I'm doing that instead of getting Cam Ward. Look, I just don't see it. He cannot move the needle that much for your franchise in 1 year. You are wasting time. You are. You're not drafting Lamar Jackson or even a Josh Allen or a Caleb Williams. Damn, Caleb Williams. And that's saying something. You're wasting your time, bro. You gonna have 3 Will Levises in the locker room.
But I'll say this for sure. This is what Chicago has been doing with Caleb Williams.
Yes, sir.
They understood they could not draft Caleb Williams and have that same roster.
Yeah, they
So
failed
they did
Justin
everything
Wilson,
they can.
Justin Fields, and they learned.
Yeah, so that's how you have to build a quarterback. And again, Cam Ward is not Caleb Williams when you look at him as an actual prospect, like comparison.
No.
Cam Ward, will he be nice? Yeah, I like Cam Ward. He could be promising. Now, when it comes to if he can reach his ceiling, that's going to be all on him.
Mm-hmm.
But because again, if we're I'll be honest about this, and you might agree with me, Grayson. As a right now quarterback, I'll take Shador over Cam.
Yeah.
A potential, I'll take Cam over Shador.
Absolutely. Shador a quarterback.
But
Shador's a quarterback. Yeah. But he can't. You can teach how to read cover 2. You can teach how to throw on 2-man. You can teach positioning with footwork and showing the ball and play action. You cannot teach 4-3. You cannot teach 80-yard throws. You know what I mean? You just can't.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just right now, from how I see it is, I'm just from right now how I see it is just, I think this year's draft is just going to be no big needle movers, but just, hey, let's get another good piece.
Yep.
So a team like the Titans, a team like the Raiders, a team that just is in a quarterback situation. I don't think this is the year. Even if next year you're not in an Archie situation, you at least know that there's probably a better option than this year. And maybe not in a draft, but maybe it's a trade, maybe it's free agency. Like worst case scenario, if I'm Tennessee, and you might be saying, "Oh, that's ugly," but let's just think about this. If I'm Tennessee, say we for some reason had a better year and we finished 3rd or 4th as the 3rd or 4th worst team, and so we're not going to get number 1 overall. We're not getting Archie. And I don't remember every single quarterback next year. I have to look it up. And we'll have to see how they do, of course, in the season. But I'd probably rather get some pieces and some young guys to help out. Maybe it's a Travis Hunter, maybe a nice player next year. Maybe it's just throughout the draft, maybe free agency, trades. And then if we just talk about Dak, if Cowboys are done with Dak, why not trade for Dak?
Yeah.
Again, is he a top 10 quarterback? No, but hey, it goes from being the worst team to being at least at minimum middle pack team.
Yep. All right, so right now we do this thing at the end of our show where everybody gets 2 minutes to talk about whatever they want to talk about. You can talk about comic books, Jesus Christ, wherever you feel like it. So today, Drew, you are our special guest, so we'll start with you. 2 minutes, the floor is yours.
Muted. Yo, you're gonna make me talk? Oh my god!
You don't
I
have
don't know
to
what to talk about.
You can pass.
I mean, I would just probably just start by asking how are you guys been doing, but we can have that conversation on our own.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, no, I don't really got nothing. Honestly, I'm just here, bro. I'm listening.
Well, if it helps, I'll go first. So if you think of something after, then you could go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Give me a baseline to go off.
I don't know why. I keep up with it a little bit, but we don't really talk about it on the show. and probably might do a little bit more when it gets closer to WrestleMania. But let's talk about a little bit of WWE. Why not? This past week, I forgot if it was on. I think it was Monday. John Cena and Cody Rhodes had their first actual promo against each other without John Cena doing a promo with Cody Rhodes coming in and John Cena leaving, not going back and forth. And it was actually pretty exciting, both making some interesting points and everything. Like, one of the things John Cena said, because he's been known for years about he buries talent. But John Cena mentioned he does not bury talent. He is the talent, and all he does is bury the mediocrity. Mentioning that Cody Rhodes, he's just mediocre. Everyone else has gone against him is just mediocre. So it's getting more exciting. That's gonna be fun. Then you got the Jey Uso Gunther rivalry, which I'm in a personal belief is I don't see why you announce, winner of the Royal Rumble gets a main event match at WrestleMania, but they're not gonna have the main event match. Neither the men's or women's Royal Rumble winner is. The main event matches are going to be for night one is going to be CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. Then night two is going to be Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Is it their fault? No, because they're the more exciting match. But you have to give away that stipulation. Just saying for the championship at the WrestleMania. Again, they just haven't built the feuds up good. But well, Grayson, did you know that they're going to have a feud with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton?
I didn't know that.
No. Bro, I haven't watched WWE so long.
So in the WWE universe, what happened like 6 months ago was Kevin Owens hit a pile driver on Randy Orton, and Randy Orton was out for 6 months. Well, Randy Orton came back at the last pay-per-view and was going to return the payback with a punt kick, because Randy Orton hasn't done that in years. You know that vicious punt kick where he's in the corner, runs up and punts him in the head?
Yeah, 15 seconds.
So, okay. But they were going to have a match, but I just saw today that match might be canceled now due to the fact that Kevin Owens might be having an injury. So he might miss WrestleMania. So I'll just start the lineup, but we're getting to an exciting season, so I'm excited to see what the next few weeks come.
Time.
Man, I might have to tune into some WrestleMania, man.
All right, you ready to go?
I mean, I can talk about something. You know what? I was gonna ask. Y'all see that? I don't know if y'all are really into it, but I saw that Superman trailer earlier for that new movie coming out. That was the first time I've seen it, and dude, that shit looks badass. I was like, I just had to say something about that. I don't know if y'all are kind of hyped about that too. If y'all saw
it. Team DC.
Yeah, dude, I love it, man. I love it. It looks so awesome. I love his suit.
I haven't seen the newest one. I saw the one they had like a couple months ago.
No, that was like the first time I've seen a trailer. I didn't even know they had a trailer out for it. I knew the movie was coming out, but I haven't seen the trailer. So I saw one today, but I think it was a new one. So I had to go back and watch the old one. I was like, hold on, what have I been missing out on? I didn't even know. I haven't seen anything about it. I just heard that it was like in the makings, but I didn't know it was coming out that soon. So I'm like, I'm stoked. I'm so stoked right now.
Hopefully it just kind of brings it back in the DC universe, especially.
That's what I'm really wondering. And because I saw they have Guy Gardner in there, and they have Mr. Terrific, and Crypto, and I was like, dude, like they're with this one movie, they're already coming out with a banger. They're already setting up all these characters. Like, yo, it's gonna be good. And I was like, I'm psyched, bro. I'm psyched. I really think it's gonna be pretty cool. So I don't know. I just had to bring that up, see what y'all's thoughts were on that. But
that's great. You still got about 30 seconds.
Oh shit. I just was feeling nostalgic, and I went and watched Infinity War last night, so. I had to feel the despair, but it'll all be uplifted, and when I watch Endgame, probably tonight, so you know how it goes. That's all I got, man. Shit, I'm just out here.
That was 2 minutes on the money.
Was it? Bam.
I'll use my little bit of time. Go Yankees, bro. What are we doing? But go Yankees. What are we doing? But go Yankees. The Dodgers, tampering. Boo Dodgers. I said in the baseball group chat that the Braves were gonna win by 10 today, and we got the score. See how much they won by. I also predicted that UConn was gonna beat UCLA, and I predicted that the Gamecocks were gonna beat Texas tomorrow. I'm predicting. Can I say? Oof. I gotta go Duke and Florida. I wouldn't be surprised if Houston pulls it off. Great defense, but I gotta go Duke and Florida. I think Florida kind of wipes the floor with Auburn a little bit. It's gonna be interesting though. And don't worry so much about the Braves. You know, bad start to the season. The Padres are a fun team, very fun team. The Angels are surprisingly fun to watch. And the Reds are really bad at baseball. We predicted that the Reds are gonna be really bad, and they're really, really bad. So, last in the division, like I said, and I'm gonna stop there. Why not? Thank you all for joining. Thank you for your first episode. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because you were talking about baseball, how do you feel about the Rangers start so far?
Rangers not bad. I don't think they're superstar caliber, but they're not bad. They're not bad. They're playing right now on it's Friday, Apple TV. Playing Tampa Bay Rays right now, Apple TV. I like their pitching more than I like their batting.
Mm-hmm.
They got really good pitching right now.
Where they got throwing right now?
Nathan Eovaldi is playing out of his mind. He's playing like a Cy Young, and then they got Lil Letter, and then a couple other little hoopers. But DeGrom's been above decent.
You know who I miss? I miss Leclerc, man.
Oh yeah, Leclerc.
Yeah, I miss Leclerc.
Yeah. DeGrom looks good. DeGrom looks healthy. I think he's pitched once, maybe twice. Evaldi's pitched twice, and both times he had 8+ Ks. And last time he pitched the whole game, under 100 pitches. So, I think
He's done good.
Yeah, he's doing his thing, especially for his. We talked about him being top 3, maybe in the Cy, but he's number 1 right now. I'll tell you that. I thought Crochet was gonna lead it. Showed me otherwise.
Okay.
All
right.
Yankees need starting pitcher. I'm not gonna do that. If we had, I would love to do more baseball talk, but the basketball talk was going great today, so it works.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't watch baseball.
Yeah, it's okay.
Kept up with the Rangers.
Yeah, I get it. Most people don't. Yeah.
But I love the baseball talk. I love baseball. I just don't really watch baseball. I don't keep up with it. But I love playing it, and I like baseball. So I'll listen to y'all guys talk. Yeah. No problem.
Well, we appreciate everybody for joining us. We're gonna close it off here. Drew, thank you for your first ever episode, man. We hope to see you again. And if you're interested, me and you can talk about it and get you a part of the team. Matt, as always, thanks for being here. Derek, thank you for the time here. Cam, your time here. Corey, a little jump in. Everybody in the comments, I appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Later, man.
Peace.